We're live.
Donuts and whiskey.
Yeah, we have donuts and whiskey here, which is fantastic.
Dude, when you give me an entire box of Bavarian cream-filled chocolate top donuts, you know it's going to be a good time.
It is a good time.
And Jameson's here.
What's up, Jameson?
Yeah, what's up, dude?
Guys?
Good to have you back.
It's been a little bit.
How's Vegas this time of year?
That's why we left. I think we just said
warm, huh?
Yeah, we just said I think the record for Vegas. I think 120 degrees for like 2 or 3 days sustained, and thank goodness we were gone.
Yeah,
Dude. Yeah.
I don't care I don't care if it's dry or wet heat. 120 degrees is hot. Period.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's terrible.
It doesn't matter.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
And, fortunately, like, I just do it. Like, I never share anything on, like, Facebook or Instagram. Yeah. But while we've been here, I've been sharing stuff, and I make sure that I put the temperature on it every day, just so everybody back home's pissed off.
And it's been hot for here. It's been really hot.
Oh, yeah, incredibly hot. I'm just glad it
80s
rained today. It's been so dry.
We needed some rain, man. Me and Laura drug our entire ass from Bent Road up there across from Jimmy and Rita's.
Yeah.
We put in right there and went all the way to the new Riverbend Park, Stroop Road Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
Went all the way.
Today?
It's like 10 miles. No, this was on
okay.
Sunday. And boy, we need rain. That's what I learned.
We do.
That would be what I learned on that trip.
I'm going to get a drink. I'll be right back.
Okay, cool.
All right.
So what else is going on? How's
Dude,
life?
not a lot. Life is what it is right now, you know?
Yep.
I mean, we got a lot of maybe changes coming up for us, but we're just trying to figure it out. You know, this is the first year we decided, for lack of better judgment, I guess, we drove the whole way from Vegas all the way to Spruce Pine. And, that was interesting.
Yeah.
3 kids, you know.
That's a trek, man. That's a trek.
Yeah, but the kids actually did really good.
And you stopped at Buc-ee's.
We stopped at Buc-ee's. Now, the good part is we're going on the way back instead of just coming 40 the whole way. Mm-hmm. Because you're looking at the same road the whole time, we'll drop down and go probably maybe through like Atlanta,
there you go.
Alabama, Mississippi, into Texas. And so when we get to Texas, who knows? I mean, there's Buc-ee's like every corner in Texas, you know? So
I love Vern's take on Buc-ee's. He's the only anti-Buc-ee's person that I know on
Yeah, he
Facebook.
wasn't impressed.
He hates that place. He's like, I sit in the car where the kids went in.
No.
He's like, I hate this.
He was not impressed with Buc-ee's. I've never been. I mean, I don't know. I go to Walmart almost every other day, so I feel like it's a Walmart with beef jerky.
Pretty much. And I want the briskets, what I want.
I was disappointed this time.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I was disappointed in the brisket sandwich.
Is it becoming too commercialized?
No, it just wasn't as good. Or it wasn't as good as I remembered. Because last time I think we went on the week they opened up.
Yeah.
In Tennessee. So
they were on their game.
Yeah.
Doing it by
Don't
the
get me
book.
wrong. There were just as many people there this time.
Right.
Like, I thought, okay, it's been a year.
Right.
Surely.
Right.
Like, it's not going to be that bad, but it was
And
shoulder
they smoke
to
this
shoulder.
in-house, right?
I believe so.
Dude.
I think they do. I've never been to a Buc-ee's. I can't say either
Can
way.
you imagine
I
being
don't
in a
know.
room with your buddies? You're like drinking a little bit. And you're like, I'll tell you what, I got an idea to do. I'm going to open up a gas station that smokes its own barbecue. That's the greatest idea of all time.
But think about this, right? So when we were growing up, where did everybody stop on their way to Mitchell?
Oh, P&R.
P&R.
Oh, of course.
Right? Get your
Yep.
sandwich every single morning.
Yep.
Go down there for lunch, whatever,
I
Like,
lived
it's
on
like, I mean,
Tenderloin Dixie's.
P&R and Buc-ee's are almost the same thing, you know?
Exactly.
There's so many similarities.
Oh, goodness.
We did go through the longest car wash
Oh, really?
at Buc-ee's.
World's longest car wash.
World's longest car wash.
How long is it?
I don't know.
Too long.
The world's longest.
It's just long.
No, you know how like you go through a car wash and there's like you get the spinners,
Right.
Like it puts the stuff on and then spins again and then
Sure.
it did that like 5 times.
That's pretty cool.
You know, so yeah,
Takes like the first coat of finish off your vehicle.
it's a rental. I didn't care.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Well, the whole world changed this weekend, Josh. Me and Josh were in Hickory doing some shopping when the world got flipped upon its head, weren't we?
Yes, we were. Damn it, you just had to ask me that question when I was adjusting the camera.
It's all good. We're informal here.
I'm not even in the microphone. I'm like, wait. Yes. Yeah, that was... Dude, okay, so for everybody, I'm sure you all know that somebody tried to assassinate President Donald Trump. And what on earth? Well, first of all, this kid, no matter what you think of it, whether you think it was, something sanctioned by the deep state, whether you think the deep state let it happen, no matter any of that, this kid had to know that he was not coming out of there alive.
You would have to.
Like, you don't. There's no way. Even if he didn't get one single shot off, dude's not coming off that roof alive. Any other way other than
I wonder if he had kind of, like a lot of school shooters, it's pretty much like a shoot and then suicide. But
in that, I don't think. So, given what I do, right, we do active assailant training like every year.
Tell people what you do, by the way, because not everybody knows.
Okay, so I'm a police officer out in Vegas. I work for one of the cities in the whole Vegas Valley. I won't say which one, but I work out there. So we do active assailant training like every year, and the statistics are crazy on when somebody's confronted. Like the first person that confronts them, they generally will either give up or take their own life. Mm-hmm. Like it's like they're done at that point in time, right? Because the whole thing is for us. At least for me, like the decision you have to make is, am I going to, and we've seen this in other schools, am I going to sit outside and just wait? Or am I going to go in there and confront this person and, potentially in this situation?
Right.
So for that kid, like, no way, he had to know going in. I mean, he called out of work, right? I think they said he like called out and said, "Hey, I have something to do today," or something like that.
I didn't know
won't
that.
Be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw something today where he apparently called out of work.
Wow.
And then his parents tried reporting him missing.
Wow, interesting. I didn't know that.
So
either.
it makes you wonder how much the parents, potentially
either
knew or suspected.
I don't know how much more we really know after that. We don't even know what they said it was an AR-style platform, like you said, but we don't know what caliber gun. I heard, is it confirmed that he had bomb supplies?
I don't know. I don't know.
I heard that, but
I've heard that, but who knows?
Really.
Yeah, I don't know what's confirmed. And honestly, I mean, the main reason, like, for that, like, we're on vacation.
Right.
So when I'm on vacation, I'm on vacation.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I try not to stay
as
involved with, with everything.
Sure.
And I know probably somebody out there is going to say something bad about that.
Right.
But, at the end of the day, like, I'm here to,
leave that behind.
To leave all that behind and just enjoy time with,
sure.
with my family. So
I just don't know. I mean, it would have to be one of those classic, like, shooter things. It would have to be. It's like, okay, I'm going to show the world what I am, and then I'm going to take my own life. I mean, it would have had to have been. But, I haven't heard anything about, like, obviously you had mental health problems, obviously. You don't find yourself on a roof at a presidential rally without mental health problems. But,
here's what we know about him, and what we know about him is about as clear as a mud puddle.
Yeah.
We know that he apparently registered as a Republican, but donated to Act Blue and some other left-leaning Democrat. I don't know, to the Democrats, to other
I saw one picture, and I don't know if this is true either. I'm not making a value judgment on this or whatever, but there was one picture of him kind of with a girl's haircut and like a choker and what kind of looked like makeup.
I don't know that that's real.
That may not be real.
I've not seen that one.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's real.
Well, you can't know if anything's real.
I know.
I
know. We know that his phone was completely scrubbed. They found nothing on his phone. Surprise, surprise. And they don't really know his motive, which is kind of odd considering what he was trying to do. Seems like his motive would be patently obvious.
Well, let's also not discount that we had some guy try to shoot a president that just wanted to impress Jodie Foster. So it's not like there's sort of a...
I mean, looking at him, he very well could have been trying to win the love of his Antifa bride.
Right. Something.
Yep. I don't know.
And we don't even know if he's a part of that.
No, we don't.
We don't know anything.
I don't think you're gonna know.
I don't think so either. I'm about to kill a fly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you get him?
Yeah, got him.
Yeah.
Boom.
All right.
Oh, is he over there now?
Ah, damn it. I missed him.
You know, though, I heard you can sneak up on a fly by using like a paper towel or toilet paper, just something white. Like they don't see the color white.
It's racist.
I don't know if it's true or not. But
Dang racist flies.
it is what I have heard.
No, the flies don't see color.
Right.
They just don't see color.
Yeah.
Don't see color. Well, wouldn't you like to be a fly on the room in the Secret Service office? Have you ever worked with the Secret Service?
So
or
not
done any training to that?
Not directly.
Not directly,
but I've worked on a handful of different like presidential motorcades and stuff like that, just where it just happened to align with when I was working. And
what I don't understand is you got people literally. There's people standing on the grass being like, "Look,
Yeah.
there's a guy on the roof with a rifle," and not just that, they saw him crawling up there.
yeah.
And they look. Do you not?
So
apparently they told that to the local police. Do the local police in that scenario not have like a way to communicate directly with the Secret Service?
From what I understood, maybe you can speak to this. They were all on the same TAC frequency. They were, like the Secret Service and the local police department was all on the same TAC channel. The Secret Service said the local police was supposed to take care of that vantage point. The local police department said that is absolutely not true. The Secret Service, they were like, we were doing traffic control and crowd control. We were not doing any kind of sniper vantage point.
I mean, how possible is it to get your lines crossed like that?
So I've not looked to see like the size of the departments and you know, but like not in a bad way. Like, you know, where I'm at, like there's departments that have like 30 people, and then there's departments that have 3,000 people.
Right.
You know, so it's tough to say without having that information.
And
right, but so here's here's
Pennsylvania Bloom.
Yeah.
What was the name of the place? Bloom. What was the name of the place, Josh?
It was. I'll tell you. I don't remember the name of the city.
Yeah. I mean, it looked like a fairly small town to me.
Yeah, but I think like just looking at it, right? Because I mean, social media has been inundated.
Oh, sure.
You know, and everybody has an opinion.
Yep.
I was just sent a link from FBI.gov that says the FBI has searched the shooter's home and vehicle to collect additional evidence. Suspicious devices found in both locations have been rendered safe by bomb technicians and are being evaluated by the FBI lab.
And that's probably the most information you're going to get.
Right.
You're probably not in the next couple of years, I imagine, going to have all the details that they have.
We'll never know the truth.
Do you think this warrants like a Jan 6 style commission? I think it does.
Oh, absolutely it does.
I mean, you had a former president try to get assassinated.
If January 6th warranted a commission and an investigation into it, this most certainly does.
I think
most
so.
certainly does.
I don't know about the FBI investigating the Secret Service either.
I don't know. Well, I don't like the idea of the Secret Service investigating itself either. Like that's the thing. Like nothing's going to come of this, even if there is a
Is the Secret Service a separate like thing, other than or is it covered under the blanket of like the FBI?
It's its own entity.
Yeah, I mean they have their own like
yeah
whole like you can apply to be a Secret Service agent, but you could be a regular Secret Service police officer, or you could be like presidential detail.
Okay, so it's its own, like, yeah.
Now, I do know, reports say that day, allegedly, that the Secret Service was split up because Joe Biden had an event, and there was a lot of Secret Service that got redirected to that event, and the Secret Service that was actually covering the Trump rally had been pulled from other details. Some of them were TSA agents, some of them were FBI agents. They weren't just Secret Service.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
So that makes a lot of sense.
But consider this too. Look at how many look at who Secret Service protects. Right? You have your current presidents, former presidents, family of those, right? So like that's the thing too, like the level, right, of coverage that somebody's going to get is probably depending on where they fall in that spectrum of people.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know? Because, like, I know one of the one of the motorcades I worked, like once we shut down the road, there just happened to be a large box truck pull up like 30 seconds later, and I have the road shut down, and it's like the president's probably 5 minutes out at that point, 10 minutes out, because once we're shutting it down early. Like once the motorcade starts moving, we start shutting everything down, in sequence. And next thing I know, I have K9 and Secret Service pulling up to my location, and they're like, "Hey, we want to check that box truck out." I'm like, cool, yeah, go check it out. I'd rather not get blown up while I'm standing here.
But you got that.
Yeah.
You have that for a motorcade.
Right.
This is a rally where the guy is speaking, and you don't cover a roof.
Well, the roof was sloped in their defense.
And did you see the guy up there like washing the blood off?
Yeah.
They're like, apparently it wasn't too sloped.
Let me pull this up. Let me pull up the cow on the roof.
Yeah, I saw that meme as well. So here's what I will say about that, though. From what I heard initially,
right,
not confirmed, but what I heard initially is that that's outside of the event or the area that they had locked down. Right, it's a football field and a half away.
right.
So it's possible, right? Like people are going, well, how does somebody? Yeah, I saw that. Like people are saying, like, how does somebody get on a roof, and how are they getting a ladder there, and but there's so much misinformation going around.
Sure,
right? Because I keep seeing a picture of a 30-foot, like 20-foot ladder, like an orange construction ladder up on a roof, but then I see other pictures that are coming out that's saying that's the ladder that SWAT put up there whenever they go on the roof. And like, dude, there's like we have collapsible ladders that'll fit in the back of our patrol cars that you're talking 2 foot, and then it's like a telescoping ladder, right? So you could easily carry that somewhere,
right?
So like it's one of those things, like there's so much misinformation, right? It's outside of the area that has been secured, and then you have this Secret Service is saying local PD is responsible, local PD is saying Secret Service is responsible.
Shifting the blame.
I saw a report where apparently a local PD was alerted, an officer went up to the roof, the kid pointed his gun at the cop, and the cop went back down, and then the chief of that department is backing his officer, saying, "I believe my officer did the right thing. I would have done the same thing." And I'm like, there's no way.
That is insanity.
There's no way at that point in time.
Did the right thing. Okay, so what he's saying, he did the right things. Is he?
He's saying his officer, I'm assuming, did the right thing by protecting his own life.
His own life. But I guess that could be interpreted as maybe this guy thinks Trump should be. Maybe that's what he meant by doing the right thing. Who knows?
Well, you got so much. I mean, I think this goes back to you're not going to be in this situation. Well, I suppose presidents are probably at risk no matter what. I mean,
they are.
People
sure.
have shot Reagan. People shot. People have made attempts on the president's lives for all kinds of reasons. Yeah. That being said, you would think when the tensions are so high like this, and you got all this, I do think it's incendiary, speech going around, that they're trying to convince you that this guy is Hitler, literally Hitler. He's not. The democracy is at risk. This is the last chance for our country.
Beyond that. For 8 years, we have been yelled at and screamed at that he is an and I'm not even using hyperbolic language. This is literal words. Yeah. The media, even the president himself, says that Trump is an existential threat to us, to our nation, to the gay community, to LGBTQ people, to minorities, an existential threat. So
I certainly don't see it that way.
Well, absolutely not. Absolutely not. He was president for 4 years, and he has yet to kill a single person. He's a pretty terrible fucking dictator.
And they're like, he won't leave office. Well, the guy left office when he's terrible. The election was stolen.
He is terrible at not leaving office. He's the worst at that.
Even though he already left.
Did he contest it and say it was rigged? Sure. He has every right in the world to do that.
Right.
But he didn't just hold up Kent and be like, no, I'm good. I'm staying.
Yeah.
And then on top of all this, you dropped this bomb on me that I haven't heard.
Yeah, so let's pull this story up here. Trump stock shorted heavily day before the assassination attempt. There was a financial capital group that shorted DJT to the tune of $12 million.
Donald Trump Media.
Donald Trump
Media.
Yeah, $12 million worth of shares they bought put options, which is a short. And for those of you that don't know what shorting is, it's betting that a stock will fail, that a stock will drop in price. And when the stock does drop in price, you're able to sell those puts at an agreed upon price, and then you make money. So it doesn't make sense because the stock market's all fake. But I digress. They shorted $12 million worth of shares. Actually, no, I'm sorry, $15 million worth of shares, according to this, which is the most trading volume that stock has ever seen. Ever.
See, that's crazy.
So somebody in the know just couldn't help themselves. And it backfired spectacularly because now, since the assassination attempt failed, his stock price of his company has skyrocketed. So those people have lost a shit ton of money, which is hysterical. But yeah, that absolutely happened. And you know something else that happened, this is going back, but somebody did the exact same thing September 10th, 2001 with Boeing, American Airlines, and Delta Airlines. They shorted to the tune of millions and millions of dollars before the Twin Towers were.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, devil's advocate here.
Yep.
Do you think, because shorts happen all the time?
They do. They
right?
do.
Like watch GameStop.
I see you know? Bill Gates shorting Tesla.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying shorts happen all the time.
They do.
Right? And you have the what's the guy that keeps messing with GameStop? Something Kitty or something like that.
Oh, the pump and dump.
Yeah, basically doing a pump and dump. So people are always trying to manipulate the stock market. Do you think there's any chance that either of those were coincidence?
Okay.
Yeah, there's a chance.
There's a chance. But considering the amount, that's what I'm looking at. Okay, so it was shorted, like Donald Trump stock, $15 million is the largest trading volume that stock has ever seen in a single trade in its history.
What's the market cap on that? Do we know?
I can find out.
Yeah, let me look that up. I'm just curious. I'm not saying it is or it isn't. Like I try to be objective in everything. You know, like I can't. Like I have to look at each situation for what it is.
You see the red-headed guy that got interviewed about the person being on the roof?
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought that was his real hair, except I think it was one of those things, like a Guy Fieri cap or whatever.
I did too. Okay.
Hey, but there's always one of those people.
Always.
Remember Sweet Brown?
Yeah.
The fire in Oklahoma City?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we were just driving through there, and I made Tiff look it up. I'm like, hey, you know where this came from? Yeah. It's right down the road here.
All right. So, let's see here.
What do we got?
I'll go screen share. Okay. The market cap is $7.1 billion for an intraday.
Okay.
So, yeah, right here is where the, it happened, what, the 13th? What day did that happen? Or was it the 15th?
That would have been.
It was Friday, right?
Was it?
I think it was Friday.
Saturday.
Friday or Saturday?
It was Saturday.
Oh, Saturday, yeah.
So market open on Monday. This is what his price done. The stock, it went from, what?
Jeez.
$31 to $49, almost $50, $52.
But it looks like it came back.
Yeah, it did. It's come back. It's still
definitely corrected, but
it's corrected. Higher. It's still much higher than it was by about $8. But yeah, the fact that that a trade that large was placed right before, like, we can actually see the trading volume.
So Holly there says they also shorted Rumble
as well, 34 million. Wow.
Now, I will go into Holly, though. I mean, I don't think it's any secret Nancy Pelosi's been insider trading for decades.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's actually a site, I think, that follows Pelosi's trades now.
Yeah, and if you do what they do, I mean, you're going to win.
Right.
What do we know what company this was? What kind?
Yes, it was. Hold on, I'll tell you. Well, let's see. A factory short positions against Trump socialist stock double between July 1st and July 12th, going to 7 to 15 million shares. There was one company. Okay, so it's saying that the shorts doubled, going from 7 to 15 million shares, but 12 out of those 15 million shares was one company. So that's what's fishy to me.
Yeah.
That's what's suspicious. The name of that company, I don't remember. Okay, here it is. Maybe this will say
Asset Management Group.
Yep. It was okay.
So by the way, this TV,
Yeah.
huge upgrade.
Yeah, thank you, Chase, so much.
Yeah, this is great.
Thank you. Okay. Austin Private Wealth LLC, a financial planning company based in Texas, bought the put options on as many as 12 million shares of DJ. So it wasn't even $12 million; it was 12 million shares.
So how many? When it was traded at that value, what would that be?
So what was it trading?
It was trading at $32 and some change.
So you're talking
12 million shares. Jesus Christ!
Do some math.
So 36 million, add an extra zero, so 360 million.
Jesus, that's crazy.
Somebody
right? Is my math right on that?
I have no idea.
It's actually, you said 30.
Well, I did it at $30.
$30. So at $30, that would be 360 million.
Yeah, and
Wow.
it's no surprise. I actually did know this, Holly, that the majority shareholders of this, the majority asset managed by this company is Soros, Vanguard, and BlackRock.
And the kid was in a BlackRock commercial.
He was. Okay, yeah, now that's something we haven't brought up. You're absolutely right. And that is just wild. Now, that whether that's a coincidence or not, I don't know, but that is insane. That is insane.
And I mean, you can say it's crazy that we're talking about this, but my God.
There's just
assuming that everything we're saying
questions.
here is true, and what we've heard is true.
There's a lot of questions that need to be answered.
I mean, I'm not Alex Jones, but my God. You know?
Well, so speaking of Alex Jones, now there are some high-profile people on the left, people in the media that are saying this is all a hoax and that it was a publicity stunt by Donald Trump. And I would just like to remind those people what happened to Alex Jones when he said a certain shooting was a hoax. I'd just like to remind them of that.
Yeah, what's he on the hook for?
$1 billion.
Yeah.
$1 billion. Yeah. I mean, and that may have well been $30 trillion. Like, what the hell?
And I mean, I don't even understand that. Like, how do you, by you being Alex Jones and saying, like, which is crazy and insensitive, of course, 100%. But just by saying that, what kind of damages do you think those damages by you saying, which everybody knows it's Alex Jones. He's the InfoWars guy. He's always on this type of stuff. So he comes out and says this, and then they take him for $1 billion. You're telling me there's $1 billion worth of damages. But you can't say that because it's like, well, these are saying their kids got killed.
Right.
You know?
And that sucks. That's fucking horrible.
Oh, of course.
It is
I mean, anybody
absolute
that had
nightmare.
a half of a brain can tell you that.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
This is the world we live in. It's something else. It's something else. I have some other questions. So, yeah, we covered the trading.
The kid was in a BlackRock commercial.
Kid was in a BlackRock commercial. Yeah, yep. The fact that his phone was wiped
is wild. And they finally gave RFK Secret Service protection.
Finally.
How insane is that, too? This guy's a Kennedy.
Yeah.
All the Kennedys do is get assassinated.
That's like their brand. Oh, God. It's true.
When you think of Kennedy, the assassination, the word assassination
exactly,
is right next to it.
Exactly. And well, could you imagine if that happened now? The news headlines would be like, JFK's wife's dress was soiled at a in a drive-by or something. Like that would be the news media.
It's crazy.
Well, think about what CNN ran right after.
That he fell.
He fell and was helped up by Secret Service.
Yeah. And then there was some loud popping sounds.
Yeah.
That one was one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After loud noises heard.
Loud noises heard. So it's like, Holly's right. Alex Jones did predict 9/11. He absolutely did. He predicted 9/11.
I don't remember that. I was too young.
Oh man, that's when. So I was working. Right. Well, I don't remember that, but after 9/11, I was working at the guard shack at one of the local plants here.
Yeah.
And like all I did was spend my time on YouTube watching Alex Jones outside of the Federal Reserve. You're as federal as the Federal Express. And oh god, it was great. It was amazing.
But I mean, the guy is. He is what he is. But I mean, he also he said forever one of the craziest things that people always bagged him out for. Oh, they have the asylum, or they take world leaders and compromise them by having them with young girls and young.
What does that sound like?
And then all of a sudden, here we are, and that's exactly what happened. And they just buried it, and we'll never see that.
Yeah.
Did you see the guy with the shirt?
Oh yeah, at the RNC when the CNN was behind it.
Yes. Speaking of shirts, show everybody your shirt there.
Well, only some people may get it. I mean, I guess it's a throwback. Let's see.
This is great.
Camera
Yeah, there you go.
Little Phillips Harding mafia, or the Phillips Harding crime family. Because I believe last time I was on, the Phillips Harding crime family / mafia was in full swing.
Oh,
yes,
it absolutely
was.
Yeah, I think we were.
Yeah, they were definitely calling the shots here, telling us what to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I was here last time.
Exactly.
As the enforcer, to make sure that you understood what you couldn't say.
We are industry plants. We're industry plants here in Spruce Pine.
Yeah. Listen, if you can control the narrative in a town of 2,000,
oh yeah, just think what
you can do.
Yeah,
the possibilities are endless.
Are literally endless. But I don't know. The whole thing is just. And I've talked to some people that friends of mine that are not even political people, and I can't remember how we got out of the discussion, but they're like, yeah, this is crazy. Like, I have never seen anything like this in my entire life. Like, it just keeps getting crazier.
Yeah.
And Biden's going to drop out, apparently.
But before we get to that, since we're on the assassination attempt, let's talk about cancel culture just a little bit, shall we?
Sure.
Because I'm seeing that come back in a big way. But this time, the shoe is on the other foot. And boy, I'll go ahead and say it. It feels good. It feels good. And people are like, Josh, how could you take such an unprincipled stance with you claiming to be a free speech absolutist? And that's a fair question. And my response is, the people who are getting canceled do not give two fucks about free speech or our rights. So why the hell should I defend theirs?
So, fair point.
Let me bring something up though on free speech.
Okay.
Right? Everybody gets this one wrong.
Okay.
Right. Who does free speech protect you against?
Well, I guess it's supposed to protect you from the government.
From the government.
Yeah.
Does it protect you from your employer?
No, I don't think you could legally argue that.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
right. Like you have what's Jack Black, his partner's
Kyle
name?
Gass.
Yeah. So like people are up in arms because he just got released by his promo company or
talent
you
agent,
know, yeah,
he was dropped.
Like, okay,
yeah,
they didn't want to be associated with you.
Sure,
you know.
And I would even argue that what he said was a out and out call for violence. And the reason I say that, and it's not to be hyperbolic, is because listen to the words he said. He said, next time. Next time infers that you want it to happen again. That is a call to violence, which is not protected under the First Amendment.
Yeah.
It's not.
Great point.
It's not.
But even if it was, it doesn't protect him in that
exactly.
case.
I agree with you 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you 100%.
Like, listen, my job, like, in my job, can I go and act whatever I want on somebody because of what they say? Absolutely not.
Sure.
You know, water off my back. We were talking about this earlier. I say my wife was talking with somebody, you know, just about how much Vegas has changed in the last few years.
Sure.
And a few years ago, you know, I ended up working the riots for a night or two in Vegas. And it's just like you're out there and everybody's MFing you the whole time. And, you know, and like I'm out there doing my job. I don't agree with what happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, but at the same time, like, I'm not going to change my stance on that person. Like, cool, man, you're pissed off, you're frustrated. Like, all right, you want to yell at me? Go ahead. But I'm not going to now all of a sudden turn and make any decisions based on that.
Right.
you know?
Right.
But at the same time, if I'm a private employer and one of my employees is out, you know, potentially causing a what could come back in a major way against my company,
Yeah.
that's probably different.
Yeah.
Right? Because at that point in time, I'm not the government, so you have no protections
Right.
against me.
I saw a bunch of, like a bunch of your the libs, Twitter people, libs of TikTok and all that stuff. They're like posting people and posting where they work. Saw there was one, they called out some guy who worked at Tupelo Honey, but it wasn't in Asheville. It was the one in Grand Rapids.
Yeah, I saw they got some woman at Home Depot fired.
Which, I mean,
it's like, I know.
That's just a bad look.
Now, here's
just
the thing.
Quit
it
with
depends on what they say. It depends on what they say. Are they calling for violence or not?
Sure. If they are, you're right to point that out.
If they're calling for violence, all bets are off, man.
Right.
And if I were a company, I would 100%, just like Holly said in the chat. I mean, how safe would you feel working with someone calling for a hit on someone they disagree with?
Yeah, that's not good.
And maybe the rhetoric, the political rhetoric, has been ramped up so high now. Everything is hyperbole, and no one knows the difference. So they can say shit like that without even being like, "Oh, I'm actually calling for violence against a human being." Maybe that's where we're at.
But so here's the other thing, right? So there are people that do that for, we'll call it clicks and likes.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. We'll call it clicks and likes. That's what they're doing it for, right? Or relevance or whatever.
Sure.
But then there are other people who don't know the difference between that, and they're the ones that go out and enact that.
That's,
you know what I'm saying?
Like I'm just before the show. That's who I call low information voters.
Yeah. But like my thing, like, and I'm not going to give any specifics, but I could probably look at most of the violent crime that happens, in the whole Vegas Valley, and associate it to, what Holly's saying is, how safe would you feel, with somebody who called a hit out on you? More or less, how much of that violent crime is because you don't agree with that person,
right?
And so you have people who are saying stuff online, right? You have all the celebrities that for how long have, you have Kathy Griffith or Griffith or whatever her fucking name is that has, has the picture of the head, and you have all these other celebrities. You have Biden tweeting not long ago about a target on Trump's back and how he's, a threat to democracy and everything else. Yep. And now you have these people go kill that person.
Yep.
When these other people just may not know how to.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't put him in the crosshairs. What I meant was to put him in the.
We're frozen.
Oh
no.
No.
Oh gosh, what happened?
Are we back?
We're back. I have no idea what just happened here. Let me check and see if the stream's still going. Sorry, everybody. The computer just froze. I don't know what happened. That was wild. Let me check YouTube and make sure the stream is still going. Are we still live?
I bet Holly could comment and let us know.
Are we still live? Let us know in the chat if we're still live. I think we are. Yep, we're still live. Okay, cool. Whew. Yeah, I don't know. Thanks, Oakley. I have no idea what just happened. I was getting ready. I was actually going into the
space telegrams. It's the deep state.
It's the
they don't want you on. Well, it is getting to a point where, the first time me and Josh ever did a podcast, it was on September 11th. So, of course, we went into the whole September 11th thing. Dude, they took that down faster than you could blink.
They did.
And at least now, this is every other YouTube video that you watch is people talking about this. And this is like, oh, that's such a conspiracy theory. They won't take this down, though, I bet.
Yeah,
I'm not going to tempt fate. Love you, YouTube. Love you and your
well, here's the thing.
left-leanings.
There's so many conspiracy theories about everything.
There is. I mean, it's like that. If they took down all the conspiracy theory stuff on YouTube, there would be
no YouTube,
no new content.
Yeah. Well, and then if you give a conspiracy theory enough time, it's generally true.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And that's what's crazy. Do you really think Biden's going to get out?
Yeah.
I think he's dropping out.
Yeah, I think he's dropping out.
I don't see another. Look at his performance in the debate. Right? The guy can't even speak if it's not scripted and he's not reading it, and even then he struggles. Right? And now you have, who was it this week? Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer,
Obama,
Adam Schiff.
Dropped the boom.
Obama's starting to go against him.
Damn,
the Clintons are starting to go against him.
We're hung up again. Okay, there we are.
There we go.
I don't know what's going on. It's the deep state.
But I think that, what do they do? Okay, so let's just assume there's a world in where Biden drops out. Are we automatically assuming that's
Are they running
Kamala
Kamala?
Harris?
Well, so from what I saw tonight, and it's all like nothing's been confirmed, right? It's just somebody who's close to them or knows some stuff is starting to leak stuff to where he's considering dropping out. Mm-hmm. From what I saw tonight, he will not endorse her like right away.
Oh, wow.
He wants it to go through proper channels. And because think about this, right? So think about, like, you're the sitting president, right? It's generally given that you're going to be the nomination, right? Unless you're just terrible, I guess.
Right.
But it's generally given you're going to be the nomination. Now all of a sudden you're dropping out and naming your replacement and making them the nomination.
Yeah.
Like it kind of goes against. I mean, it's what the Democrats have done in pretty much every primary. I feel like in recent history.
Sure.
Right, with Bernie and everybody else.
Yep.
But this time it would just be out front.
Poor old Bernie.
Yeah, poor old Bernie.
He should be pissed at them. He should be pissed at the DNC.
Well, that made
there is meal ticket.
That made me lose respect for Bernie Sanders.
It did,
that he just continues to
he just folded and toes their line now.
I don't like it. Okay, so here. So if they don't go the Kamala route, who are you going to? Because the people, Newsom.
That's what I think.
Whitmer. There's one other governor.
God, could you imagine having someone in the White House that needs attention so badly they stage their own fucking kidnapping?
That would be bad,
dude.
No, but I can see Whitmer only because she's a female. But how bad of a look is that?
So like,
the sitting president drops out.
Yeah.
You have a black woman waiting to assume that position, who's currently the vice president, and you're the Democratic Party.
Well,
the party of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and you pass up the black woman and don't give her the opportunity to run.
I think they realize they get demolished if they do.
I don't know. Joe Biden's already said that's a black person's job. Did you hear that?
I didn't hear that.
He said that the vice president is a job for a black woman. So, hey, according to him, she should not be president.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God.
They can't get him off there fast enough,
dude. I know. Did you hear him call? Who was it? He called boy. It was a
no.
Yeah, he called the black dude boy in a press conference.
Well, my favorite one recently, and I try to not watch a ton of this, right? Especially on vacation. But my favorite one recently is when he called Kamala Vice President Trump.
Yeah. And then I think the worst was
Zelensky Putin.
That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He recently, was it a day or two ago? Oh, so this is actually after he was diagnosed with COVID. So he has COVID now, apparently, allegedly, whatever. So as soon as he's diagnosed with COVID, there's this video out of him like sniffing this young girl again. Like he's back on that shit. And I'm like, dude's got COVID. Spreading COVID. He's got COVID and he's out there sniffing girls. I'm like, man, you should
Congratulations, your president is now a super spreader.
He did, yeah, Holly's right. He did call himself the first black female president.
So how about that vaccine, boy? It's working.
I mean, he's...
and he's got every damn booster there is to get.
I bet he didn't get shit.
I bet he probably didn't either. You're probably right.
I would say most of your people that push it the hardest probably did not.
Yep. I would agree with that. I would agree with that statement.
But I mean, who if you had betting odds, look that up. Look who the betting odds are right now.
I was going to say Vegas already has odds on it.
Yeah, so. Vegas has. Look up the Vegas odds of who the next Democratic.
Because I think the odds last I checked on Biden being president was like 200-1.
Whoa!
Alrighty,
it was something like that. It was.
According to Real Clear Politics, I need to buy deodorant. What are they saying? Do I stink? Man. Okay, so here, 2024 U.S. President, we have, all right, yeah, we got Trump. That's where we're at now. Trump is at 65%, and Biden is at 19.3%. Harris is at 7.3%. If they were to run Obama, Michelle 2.2, Newsom 2.0, Kennedy 1.5, Nikki Haley 0.4, DeSantis 0.3%, and Ramaswamy 0.3%.
We talked about this last week, Jameson. What they had the nominee right there in RFK.
Yep, they did.
They had him.
They did.
And they Bernie Sanders'd him.
Worse. I would say it
and
was
he
worse.
actually didn't crumble. He was like, screw you guys. I'm running as an independent.
Right.
And they had him. And now you got videos coming out that seem like that there was some discussion of him being Donald J. Trump's vice presidential nominee.
That would have been amazing.
Or at least they've cozied up.
I
saw the video.
I saw the video too. What do you think of that?
It's weird to have a leaked video of a private conversation on speakerphone, but supposedly who did they say did it? Like his son or somebody close to him without his knowledge.
Right.
But it just seems weird.
It seems a little fishy. What do you think?
Let's watch the video. You want to?
Sure.
RFK video. Alrighty. Where is the actual video?
Oh, did you see that? 3 encrypted overseas accounts.
Yeah, I'm going to look for that in just a minute, Holly. So apparently,
find that.
breaking President Trump shooter Thomas Crooks has 3 encrypted overseas accounts, according to Rep. Michael Waltz.
What if they find out it's Russia?
Yeah.
Like, they wanted to be president so bad they tried to kill him.
Yep.
Well, here's my thing too, man.
They're blaming it on Iran, right?
Well, I think they're saying that there was credible threats from Iran or something like that, but I don't know that they've called the two related.
Right. Okay.
Here's my thing, dude. I just don't believe what anybody says.
I don't either. You can't.
You can't.
Like, I'm always like everybody that as soon as something happens, they're the first ones to run to social media and go post about it. I'm like, slow down.
You're just trying to get clicks.
Just slow down.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. That's exactly it. After the video. Alrighty now. Oh crap! This missed me.
You can't find the video?
Yeah, I found it.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Found it. Yep. Alrighty, here is the video, and I'm sorry y'all don't have audio over there on the couch. We have guests in here too. It's just going to be playing through the headphones.
I would love you to do something, and I think it'll be so good for you.
Oh, there's subtitles.
So good for you. And we're going to win. We're going to win. You know, we're way ahead of the guy.
Former President Donald Trump's phone call with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was leaked by his son, causing the presidential candidate to say...
I don't care what they have to say. I just want to hear the
video of the call.
I just want to hear the video. This will get me demonetized.
Yeah.
He responded to the video.
I want the actual video. Not... Oh, that's the Washington Post. Again, a news story about it. Well...
Yeah, I want to say I saw it on Instagram or something like that. Where
Yeah.
it didn't have all
What
the...
about the Examiner
all
over there? The third, fourth one over? Usually it's
This
just
one?
text, if anything. Yeah.
That's the first one I clicked on.
Or whatever that one was, 4 over on the top. One with a little E on it or something.
That's the first one I clicked on.
Oh, was it?
the
Oh,
story.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that's the first one I clicked on.
Gotcha.
So, oh, here's one that's only 54 seconds. Maybe that. Okay, yeah, this is the actual video here. I think. Maybe.
Do small doses. Small doses. When you feed a baby puppies a vaccination that is 38 different vaccines.
In the latest morning console poll, we're at 81% in the Republican primary.
These problems as she's dealing, struggling and scrambling.
We see something that said, take a look.
So they're coming from the vaccine angle. I'd heard also that too.
And something wrapped me. It felt like a giant, like the world's largest mosquito.
Mosquito couldn't get me. Anyway, so you'll have to go find the video for yourself.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it sure sounded like that he was offering or at least discussing a possible partnership of some sort.
Yes, it did. It did. It did.
And I think he would be perfect. Why not? But I mean, good Lord, I could think of 100 different things. Attorney General.
Yeah.
I was going to
Robert
say
Kennedy.
the stuff I'm seeing right now is that he'll probably like try to offer him something in his cabinet.
Yeah. Which would be good.
That would be great.
Okay, so here's something I heard proposed earlier today. So you got Trump speaking at the RNC here in probably a matter of 30 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm. Should we stream that?
I don't think I've got that much time, but
Okay.
I'm busy. He'll speak for probably 45 minutes too.
And he'll be an hour late.
Yeah, most likely. Boy, Lee Greenwood was not good at the RNC. I don't know if you guys saw that.
No, I didn't. I did see.
Poor old Lee might be getting a little too elderly to get up there. Speaking of elderly.
Did see Mitch McConnell get booed, and that just made my heart so happy. That made my heart so happy.
So what? Okay, before I get on to what I was going to say, what did you think about the Amber Rose thing, man?
I think it was fantastic.
There was a lot of conservative, more
There was, and my
religious conservatives were real upset by
since
that.
when do Christian nationalists rule the Republican Party and have a monopoly on conservatism? I'm sorry, but they're being every bit as puritanical as the radical left,
Mm-hmm.
and they're putting this crazy litmus test. I'm sorry, I disagree with it. Full stop. I think that if anybody shares that view of what America should be, they should be welcomed into the movement with open arms.
Well, it's a political party, not a religious
party.
institution.
Exactly.
You know?
Right.
What do you think?
So I didn't watch her whole speech. I saw
Right.
like bits and pieces in passing, but come on, man. Like, we're going to exclude people,
Right.
Yeah,
you know?
And for people who don't
And
know,
I
she's an
OnlyFans. She's a porn star.
Yeah.
an OnlyFans model
porn
that
star.
used to date Kanye West, right?
Yep.
So-
And then you had the Hindu, I believe, that said a Hindu prayer, and everyone was freaking the fuck out, being like, "Yeah, it was a pagan prayer, praying to demons." Like, shut the fuck up. Like, seriously.
Well, you got to be
So-
inclusive. Again, it's political.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm for it. So to not get too distracted from it, right? But there was a post from somebody here that we went to school with talking about there's some pastor somewhere that's like pissed off about all this like worship music that's coming out because he said it had a beat on the 3, or what did he say, the 2 and the 4 instead of
It's
the
satanic.
1 and the 2.
Yeah, and it's
so
satanic.
and I'm just like, what are we doing?
What in the world?
Because the beat is on the 1 or the 2 and the 4, and not, or no, it's on the 1 and the 3, not the 2 and the 4. Now it's like a backbeat, and I'm just like, so I have the same take whenever it comes to like
Right.
we're going, oh well, hold on, wait a second, this person wants to be and whatever party, right? Republican, Democrat, Independent, whether it's like, oh, we want to keep this person out because of this,
Yeah.
like, no, man, if somebody's trying to support your party or support whatever, like, if they're genuine about it,
Right.
100%.
Well, there's a lot of things you're seeing this year at the RNC because I've been watching bits and pieces, at least just enough to keep up with who's speaking. You're seeing a lot of that, and here, you're seeing a lot more inclusion, and I think that helps that the president just also got assassinated. There's this sense of like
There
coming
is.
together and embracing that whole thing. I like
Yeah.
that. I think that's positive. But you've got, I mean, this couldn't be more opposite of what the traditional Republican Party was. You would never have anybody like that
No.
speaking. You've got people of color up there. You've got, and then you
was
had the
stuffy
president,
old white rich guys.
the one that got me, the president of the Teamsters Union.
Yeah.
The Teamsters Union.
that's big.
I don't know if we don't live in a heavy union state.
No, we don't.
But you have to understand the International Association of Teamsters or whatever
Well,
is the biggest labor movement on earth.
Yeah.
And carries the most influence. And, you know, they've not come out and outright endorsed, but they said that hadn't happened in 120 years.
Well, dude, you have...
well, historically speaking,
Right.
anything union backed has always
Right.
Like anything
It's been on
union
the
has
list.
always been
Right.
Yeah,
Democrats.
Democrats.
You know?
Now, I would venture a guess that the majority of workers' unions overwhelmingly support Donald Trump.
Now, you're telling me if they took a poll of the United Auto Workers that 75% of them are not Trump supporters?
Well, so here's
100%.
what you have to consider with unions, though. The people in the unions and what the unions decide or who they endorse are sometimes two different things.
That's very
They
true.
are.
Right,
They are
because
true.
you could take somebody like that, you know, like the auto workers,
Right.
or like whether it's police or fire or
Right,
whoever.
right.
Because like where we're at, like every basically municipality, every fire department, every police department, they're all union.
Yeah.
And historically unions support Democrats because it's better for the pensions.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that the people inside of the unions necessarily agree with that.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's very true. I just think that's crazy, though, that you have the Teamsters president speaking at the RNC. So here's my question.
Okay.
Is this just a amalgamation of Donald Trump?
I think so.
So what happens when Donald Trump can't run anymore? Do we get Donald Trump Jr. stepping in?
I think we're seeing a fundamental shift in Republican politics. I think we're getting away from the stuffy old rich guy establishment politics, and we're headed more towards a populist movement. I mean, you saw that. Who wasn't there? George W. Bush. All of your establishment politicians from the right were, and if they were there, they got booed.
Yep.
And it's fantastic. It's glorious to see. Y'all need to leave. Everything good?
No, we're good.
Oh, okay.
You go to the bathroom?
Don't make me call you out.
Oh, yeah.
You might as well
Don't worry
just go.
about walking in between.
Yeah,
Go get another drink, whatever.
Yeah,
It's not that formal.
Yeah,
There
there
we
you
go.
go.
Seriously.
Now you're off camera. Go. Hurry, the camera's changed.
But, this goes back to what I said. Okay, everybody wants to know, where did Donald Trump come from? Where did this whole thing start? It started, and I've said it ad nauseum on here, it started with NAFTA, CAFTA, and then shipping every American job overseas in the 90s. And then
go that way.
Yeah, there you go. But it started. This is where it started.
Absolutely.
Finally, and people will, I don't understand where Donald Trump. Well, I absolutely understand where Donald Trump come from because we saw it. We saw it here when all these furniture jobs and these plants left. We saw it. This is a direct result of what Bill Clinton did with NAFTA and CAFTA. I'm telling you right now.
It is, and you had no. He came on the scene, and he represented a swath of people, which is a large portion of the population that has been disenfranchised and has not had a voice for decades.
Mm-hmm.
For decades. They do not feel like they're... Where'd the Dunkin' come from?
Oh. Don't remind me, dude. There's a whole box of Creamfield, Bavarian Creamfield.
Has the center camera up?
400 pounds.
Has the center camera up?
No, that's not. But anyway, I lost my entire train of thought there. But yeah, there's the. Let's see. There's the Dunkin'. That's the camera. It was
That's it.
But you have an entire swath of the population that has been disenfranchised, and no one has represented them, and no one has spoke for them in decades. So it's no wonder we're seeing Donald Trump. I mean, Donald Trump is not the problem. He is a symptom of the problem. He's a symptom of a broken system that is in shambles, where you have a handful, I've said it a million fucking times on this podcast, where you have a handful of multinational corporations working in tandem with the government to pass policy that benefits them, that rules the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, your middle class has no voice. And that's what brought Donald Trump into the picture.
Well, I was going to say, I think that's what changed, what are we talking, 8 years ago now?
Yeah.
And gave him the ability to do what he did, is the fact that the people just got sick and tired of the way, whether Republican, Democrat, Independent, they just got sick and tired of the way things were.
Yep.
And at some point you have to go, hey, who's going to represent me?
Right.
You know, who do I want to represent me? Not who do I want to represent somebody else who's, making a couple $100 million off of what I can get them to do for me while they're in there.
Right.
But who's going to represent me?
Yeah. Well, I sure hope that it's a wholesale change, because I think it's
too.
needed.
It is, and the Dems are going to have to do the same thing.
They're gonna have to, or they're gonna literally fall into every element. Honestly, if you see a landslide victory for Donald Trump in November, the backlash against the Democratic Party is going to be so hard,
absolutely,
and so fast, because they won't say it right now, but all of them think it. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
you had the perfect opportunity to find somebody to go against this guy, and you blew it.
Yep,
you absolutely blew it.
I don't think they have anybody.
I don't think they have anybody either.
And they didn't want RFK because he's a populist. He's not going to play ball. He's not going to get in there and play ball with this establishment swamp creature bullshit. where he's like, okay, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. We'll get some of your friends in here to fill this cabinet. We'll start passing policies that are going to benefit Lockheed Martin. We'll go ahead and keep the Ukraine war going. We'll go ahead. Hey, we may invade somewhere else in the Middle East. Why not? We've got NATO. What was it? Tim Dillon said NATO is a Sears catalog for the military-industrial complex.
It's the truth.
It is.
Yeah, that 1990 Sears catalog, though.
Oh, it was the shit, man. I loved it. I loved it.
Now they send an Amazon one that's like that thick.
Yeah.
I need 300 pages.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
I want to drool over these $100 guitars that are absolute just dog shit. But I would sit when I was a kid. I would go through and look at these like they were like Harmony and Sensonic, some off-brand. They were like $50. I'd be like, God, that would be so cool.
Oh,
to have.
listen. So we've been how long have we been here now? 2.5, 3 weeks, probably. So my mom has decided now's the perfect time to go through the attic. While we're here. So it has everything that I had as a kid, right?
Right.
So like we're sitting in the family room watching TV, and I'm like, I get up to go like whatever, go to the bathroom, go pour whiskey, whatever, and I'm playing like Frogger trying to get through the living room because my mother has drug out every toy that I've ever owned for my kids, and I'm like, oh, I remember buying that. That was in the Sears catalog, right?
Yeah.
Every year it was a different, whatever, but everything was in that catalog. And we would start from the day that thing came out,
circling stuff with a pen.
Yeah. You circle it, mark the pages, circle it, and
Yep.
Dog ear the page.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Yeah.
a kid to do. Dog ear
Yep,
the page.
that's what I did.
That's good stuff.
Yep. And then I found Musician's Friend.
oh yeah,
And then all bets were off.
And then all your money was gone.
all my family's money was gone.
yeah. See, I didn't find that till much later.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
Like
it was
now I find that, and that's where I get in trouble.
Right,
It's
right.
like
I think I got my first Musician's Friend catalog in like 7th grade.
yeah.
So yeah, that's when they would send the catalogs out. And I used to call. This is totally off. We're going down a rabbit hole here now that has nothing to do with anything, but I don't care. I would call Gibson, or like Martin, or DW Drums, or whatever. I would call those companies up and be like, send me a catalog, and they would send me. If you did that, they would send you all kinds of cool shit, posters and stickers and stuff. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, Sweetwater's still, Sweetwater's probably the only major distributor of everything that still does that, putting the candy and everything in the shipments. But
Yep. Their candy sucks though.
Well, but it's something.
It's something. It could be Snickers though, not candy corn. My God.
Yeah.
I'm just a dick though, and just bitching about free candy from Sweetwater.
See, my problem is now, I have to, I don't know, probably 2 years ago, I had to put myself on a budget when it came to buying guitars and, new stuff. And now I have a whole,
I've had to stop.
I have a closet full of pedals and everything that I've been telling my wife I'm going to sell for the last couple of years because I switched to digital. I'll get rid of that, and it's still sitting there.
Reverb, man. I actually have 2 guitars on Reverb right now for sale. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, but Reverb takes 5%?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, I can't sell these guitars
5%
locally,
and then
though.
shipping. That's true. Vegas is a little different. Anyways, we're way off topic now.
Yeah.
Last question on the Trump thing for me.
All right.
Does getting that close to death change a man?
Oh, for sure.
Change a man like Donald Trump?
For sure. I mean, you could tell just to the RNC, he was a different person, man. He really was.
I'm very interested to see what he's going to say here in about 15 minutes.
Yep. Damn, I wish you had more time. We could live stream that.
I know.
That would be great. Just call whoever and be like, I'm sorry. This is more important.
I got a little bit of a busy morning tomorrow.
That's just your livelihood, man.
You guys can stay and live stream it if you want. But
This is, I don't.
You should.
Yeah, I may.
Yep.
I may do that.
But I'm interested to see if you could almost tell it when he walked out at the RNC that he looked a little bit emotional, as much as somebody like Donald Trump can look emotional.
I think it has to humble you.
Yeah,
Oh, for
I think it
sure.
would have to.
His Secret Service looked a lot different, though, didn't it?
Yep.
Just
a lot
gotta
more
say that.
strapping young men on
gonna
there
say
than. Yeah.
So did you see the video that came out at the hospital?
No.
Right. So I think we're Butler, Pennsylvania.
yeah,
so I
Butler,
think
Pennsylvania,
I think that area like your local cops, it's probably going to be a smaller department, like
Sure.
smaller township, sheriff's office, stuff like that.
Right.
Who probably don't get that stress inoculation all the time.
Right.
Secret Service, the more I look at it and learn, they probably don't get that stress
I don't
inoculation
think
either.
they do. I don't think they do.
Because 99% of your job, everything goes like it should.
Right.
Right? Because you're making your plans and you have one person that you're protecting, and then you're counting on everybody else to do their job.
Right.
So you're probably not put in that position much. But I saw a lot of people talk about the stress inoculation and, if you've never done this job, then you don't know what it's like, because everybody's making fun of that girl for not being able to.
Sure.
She can't get her gun back in the holster, and then
Yeah,
she.
I didn't
and then
jump
she,
on that bandwagon.
And then
That's
she
not
flags
fair.
she flags everybody in front of her with a gun and everything like that. And I'm like, okay, I can. If you don't have, like, if the stress inoculation's not there, then I could see that. Right. Just like if I had stayed here and worked from the time I got out of school. I mean, I imagine here it's probably 21 to be a cop, right? If I had stayed here and done that for the last, how long? We've been out 20 years this year, right? So if I'd have done that the last 17, 18 years versus what's now like the last 6.5 to 7 years in Vegas, I've probably seen more stuff and had more stress inoculation and been in more serious situations in 6.5 years than I would have in
20 years.
than I would have the whole time here. So I can see that. But if you find the video of the hospital, like, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
They're at the hospital, and now it's a fairly static situation. Nobody's shooting at you, and now you're getting out of a car and you're securing the area to make sure you can get them in the hospital, and it's still she just looks lost.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can train for something 50 million times, but until you're there in the moment with that adrenaline running through you, you don't know how you're going to act.
Oh, yeah. I'll share one when we're off camera, just because
Yeah.
I can't obviously share,
Sure.
active stuff.
Right.
But one that just happened probably like a month ago that was pretty
Intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Well, I mean, again, I was like you. I wasn't going to jump on that bandwagon.
Yeah,
because
I didn't.
who knows?
That's not
you
fair.
You know what I mean?
That's not
who
fair.
Knows? Who knows what do you? And again, you never know what you're going to, how you're going to react in a moment like that.
No, you don't.
You just don't. I mean, you just absolutely don't.
I can't say that I would
But, I mean,
have acted any differently.
Again, you go back to, what's the buzzword now? Systematic problems. Well, okay, Donald Trump's like 6'4".
Yeah.
You're going to put one of his main detail, like the people that come out and cover him on the stage when somebody starts shooting, is like literally like a small young lady. Well, there was the one that everybody's making from. Yeah, there was two or three.
Yeah.
They looked awful undersized to me.
For sure.
So there's something to be said for, okay, well, we need to have 5 people of this particular size to really get good coverage, because they're like potentially taking bullets.
Yeah. So here's something. This is another mind fuck for you here. Did you know that they identified Crooks as a threat an hour before Trump went on stage, because they found him and saw him with a viewfinder? And local police and Secret Service both identified him as a threat, and they still let Trump get on stage. How's that for you? And this is being reported by the New York Post, other mainstream outlets now. It's coming out that this is the case. So I don't know if you heard this.
Sorry, no, I missed that. What was that?
So I think it was up to an hour before Trump went on stage. They identified Crooks as a risk or as a threat because they saw him, they found him. I think they actually took pictures of him with a viewfinder, walking around taking vantage points or looking at for vantage points.
Yeah, I saw something, a posting about that. It's not a good look.
No, it's not.
And you're trying to find ways where you can be like, okay, this was just a breakdown in...
Right.
This was just a breakdown in...
That's all I'm doing is trying to find a way to explain away this because I don't want to attribute to malevolence what is clearly just stupidity.
Right.
But
And human error
dude.
is a factor in everything,
There's
including the Secret Service,
There's
the
a term
FBI,
for this.
whatever.
There's a term for this. It's called fractal wrongness. And it
So let me just throw this out.
Okay.
When it comes to that, two things come to mind, right? Smaller departments, and like I don't know how many different departments were there when they say local PD. Are we talking sheriff's office?
I don't know.
Right, the smaller, like multiple smaller departments. I don't know the communication that they had. Right, Secret Service detail is going to be different for a former president that's campaigning than it would be for the president.
Yeah.
It's a lot of coffee you put in there.
So
up on that.
Daddy's money here says, is it true he pointed his weapon at a police officer and was still able to get on the roof and actually get a shot off?
Yes, we talked about that earlier.
So my understanding, he wasn't able to get on the roof after that. A local officer was made aware of something. He went up to the roof to check it out. Now, what he was made aware of, I don't know. Right? So you're not expecting to be climbing a ladder. Next thing you know, you get a rifle pointed in your face. Right?
So this is what you were talking about earlier when his supervisor.
This is the one,
defended it.
So the supervisor saying, "Oh, I agree with my guy."
Okay, well, my question
So my
is,
understanding was he was already on the roof at that point in time.
my question is, okay, he did that. He climbed up the ladder. He saw Crooks. Crooks pointed the weapon at him. He said, "Oh shit!" He came back down. The hell did he not tell anybody?
Well, but what's the time frame on that?
That's a good question.
You know,
Yeah, I mean,
like
if he
that's my
turned around
thing.
and
So that's my thing. If he turns around and goes, "Oh shit!" Like I'm found out at this point in time, and starts squeezing off rounds.
Would he have had time to line up a shot that quickly?
Well, if he'd
His
been
gun-
laying up there
his-
for a while.
Well, but he had to move his rifle to point it at the
Right,
police
but I'm
officer.
saying if
then
he's-
move it back, it's on a tripod. Then you have to line up another shot.
I think you could, depending on. I mean, I'm looking at overheads of that building.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I don't know where that cop came up at.
Right.
I don't know where he was at
Right.
necessarily. You know. So is it possible? Sure. Is it possible that he heard somebody come up behind him? Right, because I'm imagining probably like a tin roof. Right, you start
Okay,
hearing
so
that ladder.
it was like
you start hearing that ladder,
Right.
like up
According
against
to
the
chat,
roof, moving.
they did radio, and it was right before.
Yeah, so my guess is
Okay.
that it was probably he has
Fair
that
enough.
oh shit moment and goes, now's my only chance.
And then he gets off the ladder, radios, or probably in the middle of him climbing down
just
the
basically
ladder.
ducks his head out of the way and then
Right.
radios in potentially. I
And
don't
then
know.
during that moment, that's when
Yeah.
shooting starts.
Yeah,
Some
because
kind
I
of
understand too. So like the details that I've been on, yes, everybody's on the same frequency, right? We're all generally on the same channel. I don't know that Secret Service is on there, but all the local departments are all on the same channel. That's monitored by, there's very high ups that are
Sure.
sitting in a room monitoring that as well. And it's generally, hey, if nothing important is going on, shut up. Right. Supervisors are basically the only people ever saying things on the radio unless
Because
you
they're
have,
probably communicating.
yeah,
with
unless you
Secret
unless you
Service.
have that oh shit moment of like, hey, something's happening right now that
Right.
that I need to get on. Right?
But I keep thinking, you know what I keep thinking is like when Obama came to visit Billy Graham. I lived in Swannanoa.
Uh-huh.
I literally had Secret Service and police agents in my backyard.
Yeah.
And it was only because it was along the interstate.
Yeah.
Right, but that's also a sitting president. Right? So that's what
True.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. A sitting president is completely different than a former president on the amount of Secret Service that I feel like they have
Right,
available.
you're probably right. You're probably right.
You know?
And Obama was particularly high just because he was an African
Yeah.
American.
But I'm saying as far as like
And this is North
dude,
Carolina.
the stuff that
That's racist,
Rural
Chase. That's racist.
Sorry, that's just the way it is. Yeah.
the stuff that I've been on and worked, like there is a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
We're getting those plans out days ahead of time. Everybody knows where they're at.
Right.
Right? Certain stuff goes out the window as far as like not necessarily protocols, not anything that's going to get somebody in trouble. But like the last one I worked, Air Force One was like 45 minutes early. So now we're all leaving a briefing, and then they're like, hey, if you're not to your post, turn your lights and sirens on and get to your post. right?
Right.
Normally, I don't know how it is around here, but for us, there's certain criteria that if we're gonna, run hot to a call or run with lights and sirens, there's certain criteria that would need to be met, because think about the liability behind that as far as like if you end up causing an accident or
Right.
or something like that, and then you don't get there, right, or somebody gets hurt or killed. So with that, they're like, hey, if you're not to your post because POTUS showed up early, like, get to your spot now.
Right.
So like at that point in time, the quickest way for me was through the airport terminal. So we're literally like, they've got the airport terminal shut down, and we're like just hauling through the airport
Right.
to get to our spot.
That's crazy.
There's
There's a lot of questions that need answering, that's for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
And whether you'll ever get those answers is...
I don't think we will. At least not any time in the next 50 years.
no, I don't think you're getting any of that.
Because they are generally pretty closed-lipped about that stuff. Unless it's something that they can just be like, hey, this guy wanted to impress Jodie Foster.
Unless they can spin it in a certain direction. If they can spin it in a way that is favorable to the, dare I say, the deep state. I don't know.
Very
Crazy
interesting times,
yeah,
boys.
crazy times.
Very interesting times.
How did we get here? Oh, we've been over how we got here. We know exactly how we got here.
We know how you got Trump.
Well, you get to where you're at because what's generally the one or two things that run the world?
Money and greed.
Money and influence.
Yeah. Yep.
Money and greed.
Yep. Money and influence. Yeah. I agree.
Well, good grief.
Oh,
Yep.
I saw that Hulk Hogan at the RNC.
Yeah, that's badass.
I just saw. I didn't look at it yet because it just popped up when I checked my phone.
slam Biden, brother.
What a
You
time
best
to be
bet
alive.
when Donald J. Trump crosses that, he's going to hit him with an atomic leg drop.
Is Macho Man still alive?
No, he's dead.
I was going to say he
Man's
died,
dead.
right?
Yeah, he's dead.
I was going to say that'd be a good combo.
That would. I bet he would endorse Trump.
Tell me who we need. We need, what do you think about Dwayne Johnson? What if they nominated Dwayne Rock Johnson?
I don't know. I almost feel like he would play ball. He would be into the establishment politics, unfortunately. I hate to say that because I like The Rock, but I think he's more in line with your establishment Dems than we would like to imagine.
That's why we need Stone Cold.
Yeah, no, Stone Cold,
Stone Cold would upset the establishment.
he would. He would.
What?
His presidential motorcade would be just a line of hearses. Could you imagine? A line of armored hearses with the American flags on them.
Imagine a press conference with him as president.
But that's how we got where.
No, that'd be the Undertaker. I'm sorry, the Undertaker would be the hearse.
That's how we got where we're at, though, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
People got
yeah.
tired of tired of the establishment.
They did.
Tired of people who are easily bought or easily influenced.
Yep.
Right? Because think about it. Like if I go, like let's say we're all politicians, or we're all take it out of that. Take it to business, right? Like company A, B, and C, and I'm like, hey, dude, like I got this work I can get you on, but I need you to do some underhanded stuff for me. All right, cool. You do the underhanded stuff for me now. All right, man, here's your work. Here's some extra money. Here's some,
Yep. Kind of like calling a president of a foreign nation and being like, hey, this $1 billion of aid that we're going to give you, if in order to get that, you're going to have to fire this prosecutor that's investigating a company my son's on the board of.
Weird how that works.
Huh. Son of a bitch called back and they fired him. It's almost like that.
Almost.
Almost. It's almost like that.
All right, so here you go. Butler, Pennsylvania, 12 full-time patrol officers.
So that's what you're doing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bless their hearts.
You're talking about the size of Spruce Pine,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. Bless their hearts.
Yeah, I mean that's what you're talking about. But think about this, not to change the subject too much, right? Because I know she'll never come on camera. She's going to sit over there and sit on the couch and all that. But my wife brought up a great point. Same with October 1. We had the largest mass shooting in U.S. history in Las Vegas. 8 years ago? 7 years ago now?
And dude, it was just gone.
And it's like you
Not
had
anything about
basically you have the feds and everybody else coming in, and everything goes very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep. So,
But there's some of that, and I know everybody feels entitled to information, right? Here's probably where I'm going to get some flack from people. I know everybody's entitled to information, but not all information is needed to be...
know the story.
Not all information needs to be delved out,
Right.
right? For one reason or another.
What do you know? What do you
We won't say that,
know?
but I'm saying like think about it. Like there's certain things that like people are just curious and they want to know. It's like, dude, it's like anything that I could be doing a traffic stop in a neighborhood, right? Or I could be on a homicide, and guaranteed somebody's going to come up to him and be like, "Everything
What's going
okay?
on?
Everything okay? What's going on in my neighborhood?"
I agree with you. I agree with you.
You know, like it doesn't
I
matter.
get that in construction. You always
Yeah.
get the old guy from down the street that just comes and hangs out
Yeah,
and just wants to
like
look
people,
and see what you're doing.
people that haven't walked their dog in 3 years
Right.
are bringing that dog out for a walk at 3 a.m. because they saw 3 cops on their
Yeah.
street.
I totally get that. But
You know
there's
what I'm saying?
There's a little bit of a difference, though, between doing a traffic stop somewhere or, a roadblock versus the largest mass shooting
I
we've
get
ever
it.
had.
No,
in the
I get
United
it. But
States.
but my point is that you're not ever going to get all that information.
No, we're not.
And
We're
it's
not.
and there's not. It's
feel
tough,
like
man.
we
Like
are entitled to
I'm on
that
both sides. So
information,
so hear me out. I was a civilian when that happened.
Right.
Right. I was 2 months away from getting hired. I think 2 or 3 months away from starting an academy.
Boy, that's a great way to have an introduction.
Yeah. So I get wanting to know everything, but now being on the other side of that, I'm like, you don't want to know.
Maybe it's not that we need to know everything, but don't spoon feed us a narrative that is so patently bullshit,
Sure.
such patent bullshit.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's the whole narrative of the Vegas shooting. That
Yeah,
was absolute
and-
bullshit. There's
and
no
that-
way that this one dude who like barely liked guns or knew anything about guns had how many rifles in his hotel room. Like, come on, this was an assassination attempt.
Against who, though?
A Saudi prince.
Okay.
Against the Saudi prince.
Why? Was he in the crowd?
He was in the hotel.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard this.
I've never heard
Really?
that either. Never.
Really?
Never
Yeah.
heard that.
Yeah. So the story goes this was an assassination attempt gone wrong by the feds, and that's what led to the shooting. Dude was a patsy. Hold on, I'll. No, I just had one. I'm good, and I have sugar all over my shirt now. But please eat all the donuts you want while I look up this.
I don't know. That little one with cinnamon right there looks pretty good, though.
I think
But
that's an
they got heavy
apple.
with the chocolate on that one there.
Holly brings up a good point there, Jameson. Who is the gatekeepers of information? And that is equally as scary.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Right? Because there's just like, there's so much, like, I'm not going to, like, I won't sit here and talk on a podcast with, like, active investigations or anything
Sure.
like that, right? Or even stuff that could potentially, like,
Right.
that's not, like, every department is going to be very careful about the information they release.
Right.
You know, and like we
sometimes
have,
that's for good reason. Because
Yeah.
what if it's something that was they think is connected to some other
right.
crime.
Right, and like there's this page, and I love it and I hate it at the same time. It's a Las Vegas emergency incidents page.
Yeah.
So I
We have
basically
one of those
I
here.
followed the I imagine ours is a little more active.
Ours is a lot of livestock at large.
Yeah, pretty hilarious.
But it's
really.
like, dude, everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, I saw 2 cops in my neighborhood. What's going on?" And people are like, "Where do you live at?
Right.
Are they doing anything? Are they just sitting in their car talking? Are they,
right.
you know?" Or like last night near our neighborhood, there was an accident in a car that was on fire. And, like, it doesn't really affect anybody in our neighborhood, but people are grabbing the screenshots and putting it on our neighborhood page and being like, watch out. And it's at, like, 3 a.m. Mm-hmm. Right? So I see it this morning when we get up. So it's, 7, 8 o'clock here. So it's 4 or 5 in Vegas.
Right.
And I'm like, you're telling people to be concerned about traffic for an
3
accident
a.m.
at 3 a.m. when they shouldn't be. Like, everybody, you know, but it's like people are starved for that information.
That's true.
But every department, you know, when it comes to the gatekeeper of information, like every department is going to have the parameters of the information they release.
Right.
Right. And then, like, you think about October 1, I feel like Metro was releasing some information during their early press conferences. The feds come in, and then the information dries up.
Information just completely goes away.
You know, so it's... I don't know who the gatekeeper is.
It does
when
seem
comes
like
to
every
that.
time the feds get involved, things go dark.
Yeah, I'm with Oakley on this, though. I do want the McChicken to be cheaper.
You remember when they were $1?
Dude, we just had this conversation. We drove through Oklahoma City on our way here, so, I don't know, 3 to 4 weeks ago. Like, I took a month off work. It's the best decision I made.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Good for you, man.
best decision.
That's
I
awesome.
had like 4 or 5 months of vacation saved up, and I'm just like, let's go for a month. Like, let's drive
yeah.
it. And so we drive through Oklahoma City. We spend a couple days because I lived there back, 15 years ago now at this point in time.
That's where you guys met,
And
right?
no, we met in Vegas.
No, you did? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, man, I remember going to this McDonald's, and I could get a McChicken, a McDouble, and at that time, 2 cherry pies for $3.
Yeah.
And that was my meal, like, probably 4 or 5 nights a week. Like, now it's no wonder that my gut's so messed up and everything else because it was McDonald's or ramen.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm with Oakley on that one.
Yeah.
I'd take the $1 back on the McChicken.
Yep. Oh, and dude, Taco Bell. You remember when the beefy 5-layer burritos were $1? Remember when they were 60 cents?
Yeah, what are they now?
They're like two. They're almost 3. I think they're like $2.79 now.
Oh,
The hell?
You can't do the value menu. I think they call it the value menu
Yeah.
now because you can't call it a dollar menu.
No.
You can't do the value menu for less than $10.
God dang Biden inflation's making
Bidenflation. Biden inflation.
chickens go up.
You know, I gotta blame Trump for that too. I just gotta do it. I gotta say he was just as much a part of that as Biden is because during COVID, the whole pandemic, it was just print baby print,
Oh, yeah.
print baby print. And I when they started sending out stimulus checks, I was sitting here talking to the person I was dating at the time, and I was like, "This is going to come back to bite us in the ass in a huge way. Several years down the road, we're going to pay for every bit of this money that we're getting direct deposited into our account. We're going to pay for this." And it's so bad. I'm sorry.
It's terrible.
It is.
Think
It's
about
awful.
I mean, before COVID, right? I had a buddy buy a pickup truck, $27,000,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like a year old at the time.
Yeah.
Nice truck. He kept it for a year, sold it to a dealership for almost $50,000.
Right. Yeah.
To the dealership.
I partook in that market too. I had a Porsche.
crazy.
I had a Porsche and I sold it. And yeah, like I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. The market was crazy, and they were buying every car they could. Here's the thing, though: once the market's corrected worldwide, the prices never came down on anything.
Well, why would they?
Right?
Why would they?
Yeah,
Why would they?
I agree. Why would they? Why
You got
would they?
every reason in the world and every excuse in the world to charge whatever you want to. That's
Yeah.
just what's going to happen.
Yep.
I think Trump's getting ready to go on here. If you guys want to look at this.
Should we? All right, let me see if I can pull it up here. Everybody, if you haven't subscribed already, please go subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook at The World Unwrapped. You can also become a member at $5 a month. It costs you less than a cup of Joe from Starbucks at patreon.com/The World Unwrapped.
Forego one of your venti caramel iced macchiato latte
To help
chai
us out here.
venti whatevers.
Oh, dude, we've been going to various coffee places here other than Starbucks.
Yeah.
It's tough to get out for. Yeah, it's way cheaper than Starbucks, but
Yep.
still tough to get out for. Like,
dude.
All right.
you know,
It's no joke. I did the Associated Press. It's live streaming it, Josh, on YouTube.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Okay. The Associated Press.
and the nice thing about coffee here is I don't have to worry about a homeless person shitting all over the bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Right? Or finding needles like all over.
Donuts.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Here we go. Let's go live. Yeah, I'll keep it on there until Trump goes live, and then we'll switch it over.
I think their plan is like an intro.
How many donuts is that?
It's 3 for me.
Fucking eat all of them, please.
Nice.
Do not leave them with me. Yep. This is going to be great. Alrighty, I'll go ahead and put it on.
Becoming increasingly troubled by the direction of our country.
Because I really am tired of seeing what's happening with this country, how we're really making other people live like kings, and we're not.
You've said, though, that if you did run for president, you believe you'd win.
Well, I don't know. I think I'd win. I tell you what, I wouldn't go in to lose. I've never gone in to lose in my life. And if I did decide to do it, I think I'd be inclined. I would say that I would have a hell of a chance of winning, because I think people, I don't know how your audience feels, but I think people are tired of seeing the United States ripped off.
But who would ever run for president and leave such a glamorous life? Appearances in
They really broke out the voice acting budget
Yeah,
in
they
this one,
did.
didn't they?
popular TV show.
I'll just mute that
In a
until he
world
goes live.
full of truth.
I mean, dude, Kevin McAllister was counting on him, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm going to mute
Did
it.
you
You
see
see where the
Goes live.
bathroom was?
Yeah, did you see the meme with Biden and Kevin McAllister?
Oh, man. What a time to be alive.
Listen, if somebody helps out Kevin.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin was alone, all by himself, in New York City.
That homeless lady didn't do crap for him. All she did was want to.
Well, she threw the bird feed.
Man, I bet she stunk like bird shit. Don't you?
The gun wouldn't work. All right, she threw the bird feed all over him.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's true. She did make it up.
Yep.
Who would have ever thought this guy would be the one to be like, let's fix this?
I mean, The Simpsons.
Yeah. Dude, for real, they did.
The Simpsons have predicted everything.
Yeah, Matt Groening is for sure a
So-
time traveler.
So here's the question, right? Remember which Back to the Future was it where Biff found the catalog, like the sports catalog, and went into like sports betting? Wasn't that was the Back to the Future, right?
I haven't seen that. What is that one?
So when it wasn't the first one, I think it was like the second or
second one,
third.
yeah, I think it was the
where all
second
of a
one.
sudden Biff was like had major money because he had. I don't know if he discovered time travel. I don't. It's been so long since I saw it,
Really?
but he got a sports betting, like a sports catalog, and he did sports betting, I think, and won like all this money, and then had a big building.
Really?
So yeah, it makes you wonder about the Simpsons.
Exactly.
Yeah, they definitely know something. Old Matt.
I mean, are they? I don't watch the Simpsons. I never did growing up, but
I love the Simpsons.
are the episodes of that happening like coming out well in advance?
Yes.
Of anything?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
did the whole Donald Trump coming down the staircase.
Yeah, it was
At
that
Trump
exact.
Tower.
Yeah,
But
It
what-
looked exactly
No, I know, but
like-
what year did they release
That
that,
was like-
episode?
in the 90s, I think.
Yeah, that was like
Okay.
A long
early
time
on.
ago.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Way before
Yeah.
the.
Did any of you? Okay, here's Holly in the chat. Did any of you hear JFK Jr. interview mentioning Monica Lewinsky? At the time, she was 8 years old. Who got JFK Jr.'s seat? Had he chose to run Hillary Clinton? That's interesting. That's
Goodness
interesting.
gracious.
Oh God, they're playing Biden falling up the stairs. Oh man.
Did you see the other meme that I don't know if Trump posted it or whoever, but somebody posted something today that said "Choose your fighter," and it had Trump with like the blood on the ear and stuff like that, and then it was a tweet from Joe Biden that just said, "I'm sick."
I'm sick.
Like, here's my thing, dude. I'm not going to tell anybody how to believe,
Sure.
right? And I think I'm registered as an independent. I don't know. I don't remember what I registered as. I just always vote who I think's who
that's
most
me.
aligns with me. But some of these memes are hilarious.
They are. They are. I love the
Hilarious.
Simpsons meme where it's the two aliens at the podiums, and it's like, y'all aren't ready for this Simpsons prediction yet. I think we're almost there. We're almost there. That's going to be next.
We just had an alien
Look at
conversation
that.
last
Yeah.
night at the chalet with some dinosaur
Yeah, that's what you were
bone
saying you were
hunter.
talking to,
and- yeah. Interesting
That's
fella.
pretty cool.
I think aliens are going to be next.
Which I'll give you guys something to look into afterwards.
Okay.
That he kind of brought up last night about some of the mining and rocks around here.
Oh, really? Do tell. Do tell why the Trump's going to come out and there's going to be a.
Well, he's basically talking about like some of the
Is that Kid Rock?
yeah. Dude, you know some of the old hats in this thing are losing their mind right now.
That's a little awkward.
This is hilarious. Is it not wild that this is the RNC? What in the hell are we doing? This is crazy. Oh my god. Did you see the chat? Mickey says, nope, that's Dr. Phil dressed as Kid Rock. Oh my god. This is great. This is so great. Oh yeah, Oakley. He ripped off Metallica with this song years ago, sampling Sabbath True.
You think he's playing to a track?
No,
singing to a track.
Right.
I would say his vocals are all a track, too.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I know, Oakley. I hated it too, and I don't really like it now, but you got to understand, Kid Rock doesn't have any talent.
He's made quite a life off no talent, though.
He really has. If you notice, most of the richest people aren't talented.
I guess that means there's hope for us.
We might make it yet.
Holy crap.
All right, we'll wait for him to get done. This is hilarious because I mean, you know, the stereotypical Republican is a stuffy old white guy that's like Mitch McConnell. You know, he's out there in the audience having a stroke right now. Like he's just fucking on his back turtling out.
Looking like a Japanese beetle that got flipped over.
Oh my gosh. What'd I do? What happened? Oh shit.
I think you just muted it.
Oh, you went back to the very beginning. That's all right.
Oh, son of a bitch alive. There we go. Okay.
Good for Kid Rock, though. He looks good. Looks nice and fit.
Yeah, it looks like his hepatitis is doing it.
Yeah. Come on, Charles. Wonder how many of those fedoras he has at this point.
Oh god, he's got a whole collection of, like, I'm sure they're very expensive designer fedoras made specifically for him by, like, Budweiser.
All right, I think I can catch the fly.
Oh yeah. Oh my
Look
god.
at it.
Here, dude. You want that?
Let me see it.
Did you get it?
I think
you got it. Awesome.
That was a deep state drone that we just killed.
That was.
Just wait, the Wi-Fi will go down in a minute.
Are they playing Enter Sandman now? Okay, that's the most boomer thing ever. Come on, guys.
You gotta stay relevant to the base.
I wonder how Metallica feels about this. Lars Ulrich is just rolling over.
Hey, how much you think they paid him to
do this?
Yeah.
$80 million. Enough to supply Lars's coke addiction the next 5 years. He's not even playing it right. Come on, guys.
Look at these guys having the time of her life right there. Look at that. She's like, I've had 14 gin and tonics today.
She may as well be at a Def Leppard concert.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I'm just shitting all over these people, but it's too funny.
Dana White.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It makes sense.
Dana White's electric with the microphone, though.
Yeah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dana White. I am the CEO and president of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. So 2 weeks ago, I got a call from President Trump asking me if I'd be willing to speak tonight. As usual, there was no pressure, no demands. He asked me as a friend, and of course I said yes. Then, after I accepted his offer, he sent me a text message, and I just want to read to you a little piece of what President Trump wrote to me. Dana, I'm so honored that you will be doing the introduction at the National Republican Convention. Think of it as the biggest fight you ever had, a fight for our country and even the world. I only wish you didn't have to interrupt your family trip, but I hope they understand they love you and they know how important this is. Now think about this. This man's running for president of the United States. He's fighting for the future of this country, and he's concerned about interrupting my family trip. That's the President Trump that I know. A man who truly cares about people. The mainstream media likes to push the narrative that he doesn't care about anyone but himself. I absolutely know that's not the truth because I've been friends with this guy for 25 years. And for the people who know me, they'll know this is true. I just want to make something very clear. Nobody in the Trump campaign has ever told me what to say. Nobody tells me what to say, and I'm nobody's puppet.
He is shaking.
And I'm not telling you what to think. I'm telling you what I know. And I know President Trump. I know President Trump is a fighter. I've been saying this since 2015. Now look at what's happened over the last 10 years. We have all seen it with our own eyes. I'm in the tough guy business, and this man is the toughest, most resilient human being that I've ever met in my life.
He's beginning to lean into it now.
Yeah, he is.
Fights, and this guy never, ever gives up.
Yep.
So what's at stake here? The answer is in President Trump's text, and I quote, "A fight for our country." I know why he's running for president again. Why else would he put himself through everything he's dealt with just to get back here? We all know he doesn't need this.
I love asking that question.
He has a beautiful family, and he has achieved everything that you could possibly achieve in life. I know President Trump is literally putting his life on the line for something bigger than himself, and he's willing to risk it all because he loves this country. And I know he wants what's best for the American people, all American people. I know he's running for president to save our American dream. I'm living the American dream, and I know the American dream is very real. Whether you were born in this country or came here from someplace else, this is the last real land of opportunity. President Reagan once said, government's first duty is to protect the people, not run their lives. And if you're buried in government red tape, how will you ever start your own business? If you're struggling to pay your bills, how can you ever afford to start a family? And if you don't feel safe in your own town, why would you ever buy a house? I know that President Trump is fighting to save the American dream, and that's what's at stake in this election. We are choosing who we want to lead us in this fight. I know President Trump is a proven leader, a fearless leader, And this country was in a much better place when he was in the Oval Office. In my mind,
I agree with that.
The choice is clear. But this election, we all get to choose. I know I'm going to choose strength and security. I know I'm going to choose opportunity and prosperity. I know I'm going to choose real American leadership and a real American badass.
Bringing it back to Kid Rock.
I'm not telling you what choice to make, and I'm not telling you what to think. I'm telling you what I know. I know America needs a strong leader, and the world needs a strong America. I know Donald J. Trump is the best choice for President of the United States. My fellow Americans, it is my honor to introduce the 45th and soon-to-be 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
He just gave a full-on, like, UFC promo. Want to sit right there? You'll be off camera.
Yeah, you'll be off camera.
Hey, I will say they gave Dana White like 10 times more time than Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did he get, like 45 seconds for the Tom Brady roast?
Oh, they've had some more practice because it was a little rough the other night.
Yeah.
Sing it down the pipe, Lee.
Who's this guy?
It's Lee Greenwood.
Oh. Okay.
And I'm proud to be an American.
Gotcha.
Bless the USA. See, he's still got some pipes.
Oh, yeah.
Did he write this or just record it?
I think Lee Greenwood wrote this.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he? There he is.
It's like a Lady Gaga.
This is hilarious. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
I'm telling you, dude, some old hats are rolling over right now.
I know they are. And I love it. The sound engineer's good.
Yeah. Not bad.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, I think he's been humbled with the events of the last week.
I think so too.
I mean, especially to give up everything that he gave up, right?
Oh yeah.
To the first run and this run.
Yeah.
Some people may say, like, well, he's just that narcissistic.
No,
but at the same, I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, if you're that big of a narcissist, if somebody literally shoots at you, and then you're like, yeah, I'll keep doing that.
Right. Just to prove a point or whatever. Yeah, the sound guy was incredible.
That's not easy to do in an arena either.
No, that mix sounded good, which we're not hearing, what's out in front of house, but still. That's a lot of cowboy hats.
I'm just real interested to see how he does.
Thank you very, very much. Wow. And thank you, Dana. Thank you, Kid Rock, sometimes referred to as Bob. And thank you, Lee, right from the beginning. Thank you very much. What a talent. What a beautiful, beautiful soul. Thank you. Friends, delegates, and fellow citizens, I stand before you this evening with a message of confidence, strength, and hope. 4 months from now, we will have an incredible victory, and we will begin the 4 greatest years in the history of our country.
Notice he said 4.
Together we will launch a new era of safety, prosperity, and freedom for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed.
Oh, Bob Rock.
The discord and division in our society must be healed. We must heal it quickly. As Americans, we are bound together by a single fate and a shared destiny. We rise together or we fall apart. I am running to be president for all of America, not half of America, because there is no victory in winning for half of America. So tonight, with faith and devotion, I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States. Thank you.
I mean, we all knew that was coming. We knew that he was a nominee.
Kind of surprised Ivanka and her husband are there.
Yeah.
Because she had said, even on Lex Friedman,
She's
she was going to stay out of
distancing,
it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And we will do it right. Gonna do it right. Let me begin this evening by expressing my gratitude to the American people for your outpouring of love and support following the assassination attempt at my rally on Saturday. As you already know, the assassin's bullet came within a quarter of an inch of taking my life. So many people have asked me, what happened? Tell us what happened, please. And therefore, I will tell you exactly what happened, and you'll never hear it from me a second time because it's actually too painful to tell. It was a warm, beautiful day in the early evening in Butler Township in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Music was loudly playing, and the campaign was doing really well. I went to the stage, and the crowd was cheering wildly. Everybody was happy. I began speaking very strongly, powerfully, and happily, because I was discussing the great job my administration did on immigration at the southern border. We were very proud of it.
Just hearing him try to sound like
funny.
It's just funny.
Behind me and to the right was a large screen that was displaying a chart of border crossings under my leadership. The numbers were absolutely amazing. In order to see the chart, I started to, like this, turn to my right and was ready to begin a little bit further turn, which I'm very lucky I didn't do, when I heard a loud whizzing sound and felt something hit me really, really hard. on my right ear. I said to myself, wow, what was that?
Wow.
It can only be a bullet.
I walked in, I said,
And
wow.
moved my right hand to my ear, brought it down. My hand was covered with blood, just absolutely blood all over the place.
My God, I'm a tomato.
I immediately knew it was very serious, that we were under attack, and in one movement proceeded to drop to the ground. Bullets were continuing to fly as very brave Secret Service agents rushed to the stage, and they really did. They rushed to the stage.
You think he's adding in what his speechwriter wrote here?
These are
I don't
great
know.
people.
I think he might be ad-libbing a little bit of this.
Risk,
Yeah.
I will tell you. And pounced on top of me so that I would be protected. There was blood pouring everywhere, and yet, in a certain way, I felt very safe because I had God on my side. I felt that. The amazing thing is that prior to the shot, if I had not moved my head at that very last instant, the assassin's bullet would have perfectly hit its mark, and I would not be here tonight. We would not be
It
together.
pierced his temple, I believe.
The most incredible aspect of what took place on that terrible evening in the fading sun was actually seen later. In almost all cases, as you probably know, and when even a single bullet is fired, just a single bullet, and we had many bullets that were being fired, crowds run for the exits or stampede, but not in this case. It's very unusual.
Thank God they did.
This
He's got a good
massive
point
crowd
there.
of Tens of thousands of people stood by and didn't move an inch.
I don't think
In
there was
fact,
tens of
many of
thousands
them
of people
bravely
there.
but automatically stood up looking for where the sniper would be. They knew immediately it was a sniper. And then began pointing at him. You can see that if you look at the group behind me. That was just a small group compared to what was in front. Nobody ran, and by not stampeding, many lives were saved. But that isn't the reason that they didn't move. The reason is that they knew I was in very serious trouble. They saw it. They saw me go down. They saw the blood and thought, actually most did, that I was dead. They knew it was a shot to the head. They saw the blood. And there's an interesting statistic. The ears are the bloodiest part. If something happens with the ears, they bleed more than any other part of the body. For whatever reason, the doctors told me that. I said, why is there so much blood? He said, it's the ears. They bleed more. So we learned something, but they just... this beautiful crowd, they didn't want to leave me. They knew I was in trouble.
They did a beautiful job. I have a beautiful ear.
We
You can
love.
see
We
that
learned
love
something.
written all over their faces.
He really is a storyteller.
He really is, isn't
Bullets
he?
were flying over us, yet I felt serene. But now the Secret Service agents were putting themselves in peril. They were in very
Yeah, Holly, I
dangerous
saw
territory.
that.
Bullets were flying right over them, missing them.
Corey
by a very
Comparator's
small
fire gear's
amount
on
of
stage with him.
inches.
That's a good
And
gesture.
then it all stopped. Our Secret Service sniper, from a much greater distance and with only one bullet used, took the assassin's life, took him out. I'm not supposed to be here tonight. Not supposed to be here. Yeah. Thank you. But I'm not. And I'll tell you, I stand before you in this arena only by the grace of Almighty God.
I think you're right, Jameson. I think this humbled him in a big way.
I think it has to, man. Like,
over the last few days,
like if you're in it for the wrong reasons and that happens,
you'd be like, I'd be like, well, I'm done.
Done. When I rose surrounded by Secret Service.
Right, or you have the conspiracy theorists on the other side that think it's all fake.
And there was great, great sorrow. I could see that on their faces as I looked out. They didn't know I was looking out. They thought it was over. But I could see it, and I wanted to do something to let them know I was okay. I raised my right arm, looked at the thousands and thousands of people that were breathlessly waiting, and started shouting, "Fight, fight, fight." Thank you. Once my clenched fist went up, and it was high into the air. You've all seen that.
It was high into the air.
Realized
some say it was higher than anybody.
Yeah. The highest of any fist.
No crowd.
The highest fist of all time.
Never heard anything like it. For the rest of my life, I will be grateful for the love shown by that giant audience of patriots that stood bravely on that fateful evening in Pennsylvania. Tragically, the shooter claimed the life of one of our fellow Americans, Corey, comparator, unbelievable person, everybody tells me. Unbelievable. And seriously wounded, two other great warriors, spoke to them today, David Dutch and James Copenhaver, two great people. I also spoke to all three families of these tremendous people. Our love and prayers are with them and always will be. We're never going to forget them. They came for a great rally. They were serious Trumpsters, I want to tell you. They were serious Trumpsters and still are. But Corey, unfortunately, we have to use the past tense. He was incredible. He was a highly respected former fire chief, respected by everybody. Was accompanied by his wife, Helen, incredible woman. I spoke to her today, devastated, and two precious daughters. He lost his life selflessly acting as a human shield to protect them from flying bullets. He went right over the top of them and was hit. What a fine man he was.
Has anybody helped Mitch McConnell up yet?
I don't know. He's still trying.
He's still on his back.
I want to thank the fire department and the family for sending his helmet, his outfit, and it was just something, and they're going to do something very special when they get it, but we did something which cannot match what happened, not even close. But I am very proud to say that over the past few days, we've raised $6.3 million.
Wow.
For the families of David, James, and Corey, including from a friend of mine, just called up, he sent me a check right here, I just got it, $1 million. From Dan Newland. Thank you, Dan. And again, when speaking to the family, I told them, I said, well, I'm going to be sending you
Man's
a lot
got
of
$1
money,
million
but it can't
check in his
compensate.
coat pocket.
They all said the same thing. You're right, sir. We appreciate so much what you're doing.
God.
Nothing can take the place in the case of Corey. And the other two, by the way, they were very, very seriously injured, but now they're doing very well. They're going to be okay. They're going to be doing very well. They're warriors. So now I ask that we observe a moment of silence in honor of our friend Corey. There is no greater love than to lay down one's life for others. This is the spirit that forged America in her darkest hours, and this is the love that will lead America back to the summit of human achievement and greatness. This is what we need. Despite such a heinous attack, we unite this evening more determined than ever. I am more determined than ever, and so are you. So is everybody in this room. Thank you very much. Our resolve is unbroken and our purpose is unchanged to deliver a government that serves the American people better than ever before. Nothing will stop me in this mission because our vision is righteous and our cause is pure. No matter what obstacle comes our way, we will not break, we will not bend, we will not back down, and I will never stop fighting for you, your family, and our magnificent country. Never.
He's a lot less bombastic.
And
Very much
I have
so.
to give with all of the energy and fight in my heart and soul, I pledge to our nation tonight. Thank you very much. I pledge that to our nation. We're going to turn our nation around, and we're going to do it very quickly. Thank you.
Everything he does, very quickly. Very
Very
quickly.
quickly.
Very quickly.
Quicker
This
than
election should be about
some say
the
it's the
issues
quickest.
facing our country and how to make America successful, safe, free, and great again. In an age when our politics too often divide us, now is the time to remember that we are all fellow citizens. We are one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we must not criminalize dissent or demonize political disagreement, which is what's been happening in our country lately at a level that nobody has ever seen before. In that spirit, the Democrat Party should immediately stop weaponizing the justice system and labeling their political opponent as an enemy of democracy. Especially since that is not true. In fact, I am the one saving democracy for the people of our country. And very big news, as you probably just read, on Monday a major ruling was handed down from a highly respected federal judge in Florida, Eileen Cannon, finding that the prosecutor and the fake documents case against me were totally unconstitutional, and the entire case was thrown out of court. With all of that publicity, thrown out of court. If Democrats want to unify our country,
Well, they got some
they
good-looking
should
cameras
drop
there,
these
don't they?
partisan witch hunts, which I have been going through for approximately 8 years. And they should do that without delay and allow an election to proceed that is worthy of our people. We're going to win it anyway, but worthy of our people. On this journey, I am deeply honored to be joined by my amazing wife, Melania. And Melania, thank you very much. You also did something really beautiful, a letter to America calling for national unity, and it really took the Republican Party by surprise, I will tell you. It was beautiful. In fact, some very serious people said that we should take that letter and put it as part of the Republican platform. That would be an honor, wouldn't it? Right, Mr. Congressman? But it captivated so many, so I also want to thank my entire family for being here. Don, Kimberly, Ivanka and Jared, Eric and Lara, Tiffany and Michael, Barron, we love our Barron. And of course, my 10 wonderful grandchildren. You saw a few of them up there on my lap before. And how good was Dana? Was Dana good? I mean, you know, was he good?
Dana's the greatest.
You know, he was on...
Was he good? Was he good?
Probably the only vacation he's had in about, maybe ever, because he works, but about 10 years with his wife, very far away. I won't tell you where, but very, very far away, beautiful place. And my people called, and he said, yeah, I won't be able to do it. This is many, many years. I promised my wife I can't do it. And they came in, they said, Dana won't be able to do it, because he was my first, second, and third choice. I said, well, you know, that's too bad, but I understand he's away, and it's good. It's good for him. And that was it. About 30 minutes later, she came back in, sir, Dana just called. He's going to do it. And his wife, she said, you can't turn him down. You just can't do it. You have to go. That's a good wife. So he got on a plane. He got here a little while ago. Now he's going to get on the plane in a little while, and he's going to go back home to his wife. But they're great, and I just want to thank her and him and their whole family, because that's not easy. And Kid Rock, same thing. Called, he said, I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part, because, you know, Kid does his great song, Big, Big Monster song. I had no idea. You know, he became a friend of mine over the last 10 years. And he's amazing. Everyone loves him. I didn't even know how big he was. You know, he has rallies, 35, 40,000 people he gets every time he goes out. I think he's making so much money he doesn't know what the hell
called concerts,
to do with it.
Trump. They're called concerts, dude.
And then we have my other friend, and I've known him so long, and we took that song, and it was a big success, but we made that.
Oh my God.
I saw a chart of great songs to America. That was #1 on the chart recently, #1. So that's Lee Greenwood, a very special, beautiful person. He's a beautiful man.
Yeah, this has
But
been.
they all wanted to be
like
here. They called, and how
25
about the
minutes
Hulkster?
or-
How good was he? Is he up?
Him talking about other people.
Where is
Yeah.
he?
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy.
The Hulkster.
Oh, brother.
Make America great again, brother. That mustache.
You know, they may call that entertainment. I know about entertainment, but when he used to lift a 350-pound man over his shoulders and then bench press him 2 rows into the audience, I say maybe entertainment, but he is one strong son of a gun. I will tell you, I watched it many times. There aren't a lot of entertainers that can do that, right? You were fantastic. Thank you very much. Followed by Eric. What was that all about? Boy, that was good. I didn't want to really come up here. But he was so great, and he's such a good young man. He went through a lot of trouble, and Don last night was incredible. They went through so much trouble. They got subpoenaed more than any people probably in the history of the United States. Every week they get another subpoena from the Democrats, crazy Nancy Pelosi, the whole thing, just boom, boom, boom. They've got to stop that because they're destroying our country. We have to work on making America great again, not on beating people. And we won. We beat them and all. We beat them on the impeachments. We beat them on indictments. We beat them. But the time that you have to spend, if they would devote that genius to helping our country, we'd have a much stronger and better country.
I agree with that 100%.
How could you not?
All the energy you put into destroying your political opponent, if that went into actually helping the American people, my God, think of what they could do.
Jason, the biggest star in country music. Jason, thank you for being here. Jason, thank you very much. Jason Aldean, he's good. I like his wife even better, by the way. She's here. Thank you, Jason. But I'm thrilled to have a new friend and partner fighting by my side, the next Vice President of the United States, the current Senator from Ohio, J.D. Vance, and his incredible wife, Usha.
Is he wearing eyeliner?
No, I think he just looks like that.
He does. I'm just being a dick.
He does. I've got that. I only defend him on that because I've got that same problem. I get them squinty eyes.
Vice President, he's going to be great. He'll be with this country and with this movement, greatest movement in the history of our country. Make America great again. When they criticize it, they say, we're going to try and stop MAGA. I said, MAGA is making America great again. What are you going to stop? There's nothing to stop. Then they say, oh, that's right. It's very tough to fight it.
Did you see the video today where,
try and fight it have failed.
like somebody with a Biden-Harris campaign behind him said, "Make America great again"?
Really?
Select him, great student at Yale. His wife was a great student at Yale. They met at Yale. These are two smart people. So, J.D., you're going to be doing this for a long time. Enjoy the ride.
Whatever you think about him, I don't think you become the president of the Yale Law Review or whatever. The
people of Milwaukee.
He's a pretty smart guy.
I don't know
a whole lot about him.
I don't either. I don't either.
I looked him some of his stuff up. Man, he's got a quite extensive.
You are so easy to spot.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him.
Green Bay's going to have a good team this year, right? They're going to have a good team. They're going to have a good team. Most of the audience doesn't like it, but it's true. You're going to have a very good team this year. And by the way, Wisconsin, we are spending over $250 million here creating jobs and other economic development all over the place. So I hope you will remember this in November and give us your vote. I am trying to buy your vote. I'll be honest about that.
Hey, that'll be your next soundbite for the next week and a half or 2 weeks.
It will.
Yep.
And I promise we will make Wisconsin great again. We're going to make it. Thank you, Mr. Governor. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm here tonight to lay out a vision for the whole nation. To every citizen, whether you're a young or old man or woman, Democrat, Republican, or independent, black or white, Asian or Hispanic, I extend to you a hand of loyalty and of friendship. Together we will lead America to new heights of greatness like the world has never seen before. We were right there in the first term. We got hit with COVID. We did a great job. Nobody knew what it was, but nobody's ever seen an economy pre-COVID. And then we handed over a stock market that was substantially higher than just prior to COVID. Coming in, did a great job. Never got credit for that. We got credit for the war and defeating ISIS and so many things, the great economy, the biggest tax cuts ever, the biggest regulation cuts ever, the creation of Space Force, the rebuilding of our military. We did so much. We did so much. Right to try. Right to try is a big deal. We got right to try. They were trying to get that for 52 years. Somebody's terminally ill, and hopefully there's nobody in this audience, but it does happen a lot. They're terminally ill and they can't use our new space age drugs and other things that we are way ahead. We have the greatest doctors in the world, the greatest laboratories in the world, and you can't do it. They've been trying to get that approved for 52 years. Wasn't that easy? The insurance companies didn't want to do it. They didn't want the risk. The labs didn't want to do it because if it didn't work, people are pretty far down the line toward death. They didn't want to do it. The doctors didn't want to have it on their records, so I got everybody
classic
into an
Trump
office.
here.
52 years they tried. Sounds simple, but it's not. And I got them to agree that somebody that needs it will, instead of going to Asia or Europe or someplace, or if you have no money going home and dying, just die. We got them to sign an agreement, agree to it, where they're not going to sue anybody. They're going to get all of this stuff. They're going to get it really fast. And what's happened is we're saving thousands and thousands of lives. It's incredible. Right to try. It's a great feeling. Under our leadership, the United States will be respected again. No nation will question our power. No enemy will doubt our might. Our borders will be totally secure. Our economy will soar. We will return law and order to our streets, patriotism to our schools, and importantly, we will restore peace, stability, and harmony all throughout the world. But to achieve this future, we must first rescue our nation from failed and even incompetent leadership. We have totally incompetent leadership. This will be the most important election in the history of our country. Under the current administration, we are indeed a nation in decline. We have an inflation crisis that is making life unaffordable, ravaging the incomes of working and low-income families, and crushing, just simply crushing our people like never before. They've never seen anything like it. We also have an illegal immigration crisis, and it's taking place right now as we sit here in this beautiful arena. It's a massive invasion at our southern border that has spread misery, crime, poverty, disease, and destruction to communities all across our land. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Then there's an international crisis, the likes of which the world has seldom been part of. Nobody can believe what's happening. War is now raging in Europe and the Middle East. A growing specter of conflict hangs over Taiwan, Korea, the Philippines, and all of Asia. And our planet is teetering on the edge of World War III.
That
this
we
will be
are.
a war like no other war because
Still
of
say one of the
weaponry.
best things he
weapons
ever
are
said was,
no longer army
just want
tanks
people to
going
stop
back and
dying.
forth, shooting at each other.
when
These
Donald
weapons
Trump
are
is the one that's like saying,
obliteration.
I just want people to stop dying.
It's time for
That's when you know you're living in an alternate universe.
Yeah, for real.
Can't come close to solving the problems. We're dealing with very tough, very fierce people.
Gentlemen,
They're
I hate to
fierce
say this,
people.
but I've got to get out of here.
Alrighty, man.
And
I
we
got to
don't
run.
have fierce people.
Got an early morning.
People that are
Alrighty,
a lot
dude.
less than fierce, except when it comes to
You can at least stay.
cheating on elections and a couple of other things. Then they're fierce.
Be safe, man.
You got me.
Then they're fierce.
Good to see y'all.
So tonight,
Good to see you.
I
dude.
make this pledge to the great people of America. I will end the devastating inflation crisis immediately, bring down interest rates, and lower the cost of energy. We will drill,
Take him,
baby,
please.
drill.
Please take him.
Kids are fun. God bless you.
I'm curious what the Vegas
Can you
odds
believe
were
what they're
on how
doing?
long his speech would go.
But by doing that, we will lead a large-scale decline in prices. Prices will start to come down. Energy raised it. They took our energy policies and destroyed them. Then they immediately went back to them, but by that time, so much was lost. But we will do it at levels that nobody's ever seen before. And we'll end lots of different things. We'll start paying off debt and start lowering taxes even further. We gave you the largest tax cut. We'll do it more. You know, people don't realize I brought taxes way down, way down, and yet we took in more revenues the following year than we did when the tax rate was much higher. Most people said, how did you do that? Because it was incentive. Everybody was coming to the country. They were bringing back billions and billions of dollars into our country. The companies made it impossible to bring it back. The tax rate was too high, and the legal complications were far too great. I changed both of them, and hundreds of billions of dollars by Apple and so many other companies were brought back into our nation, and we had an economy the likes of which no nation had ever seen. China, we were beating them at levels that were incredible. And they know it. They know it. We'll do it again, but we'll do it even better. I will end the illegal immigration crisis by closing our border and finishing the wall, most of which I've already built. On the wall, we were dealing with a very difficult Congress. And I said, oh, that's okay. We won't go to Congress. I call it an invasion. We gave our military almost $800 billion. I said, I'm going to take a little of that money because this is an invasion. And we built, most of the wall is already built. And we built it through using the funds because what's better than that? We have to stop the invasion into our country that's killing hundreds of thousands of people a year.
Me too.
We're not going to let that happen.
It's like, I don't know.
I will end every single international crisis that the current administration has created, including the horrible war with Russia and Ukraine, which would have never happened if I was president, and the war caused by the attack on Israel, which would have never happened if I was president. Iran was broke. Iran had no money. Now Iran has $250 billion. They made it all over the last 2.5 years. They were broke. I watched the other day on a show called Deface the Nation. Has anyone seen it? And they had a congressman who was a Democrat say, well, whether you like him or not, Iran was broke dealing with Trump. I told China and other countries, if you buy from Iran, we will not let you do any business in this country, and we will put tariffs on every product you do send in of 100% or more. And they said to me, well, I think that's about it. They weren't going to buy any oil. And they were ready to make a deal. Iran was going to make a deal with us. And then we had that horrible, horrible result that we'll never let happen again. The election result, we're never going to let that happen again. They used COVID to cheat. We're never going to let it happen again. And they took off all the sanctions, and they did everything possible for Iran. And now Iran is very close to having a nuclear weapon, which would have never happened. This is a shame what this administration, the damage that this administration has done. And I say it often, if you took the 10 worst presidents in the history of the United States, think of it, the 10 worst, added them up, they will not have done the damage that Biden has done. Only going to use the term once. Biden, I'm not going to use the name anymore, just one time. The damage that he's done to this country is unthinkable. It's unthinkable. Together we will restore vision, strength, competence, and we're going to have a thing called common sense making most of our decisions, actually. It's all common sense.
Wow.
Just a few short years ago, under my presidency, we had the most secure border and best economy in the history of our country, in the history of the world. We had the greatest economy in the history of the world. We had never done anything like it. We were beating every country, including China, by leaps and bounds. Nobody had seen anything like it. We had no inflation, soaring incomes were going. Nobody can believe it. You can't believe what happened 4 years ago is happening now in reverse. And the world was at peace. Inflation has been a killer for our country. No matter what you make it doesn't matter because inflation is eating you alive. People that were putting away money, they were making great
we've been
wages, the
streaming
highest
two
they've
and a half
ever made,
hours.
but they were
Normally we're
putting
like
away
2
a lot of
hours
money.
max.
Now they are just being destroyed. They're not putting away anything. They're barely.
Well, man, I
living. They're
appreciate
going
you guys
into
having us
savings
tonight.
accounts.
Oh yeah, thanks,
They're taking
Jameson.
out their
It's always a
money to
pleasure,
live
man.
because of
Always a pleasure.
inflation.
Y'all be safe
Inflation,
going home.
remember,
Sounds
it's
good,
called a country buster. You can go back to Germany from 100 years ago. You can go back to any country that suffered great inflation. We've suffered the worst inflation we've ever had.
Yeah, for sure.
But go back and see what's happened to those countries. We've had the worst inflation we've ever had under this person.
Absolutely.
But in less than 4 years, our opponents have turned incredible success into unparalleled tragedy and failure. It's been a tremendous failure. Today, our cities are flooded with illegal aliens.
See y'all. Bye.
Americans are being squeezed out of the
everybody, you
labor
just got me
force,
now.
and their jobs are taken. By the way, you know who's taking the jobs? The jobs.
I'm in
that
this
are
deep. I may
created?
as well stream the whole thing.
107% of those jobs are taken by illegal aliens. And you know who's being hurt the most by millions of people pouring into our country? The black population and the Hispanic population, because they're taking the jobs from our black population, our Hispanic population, and they're also taking them from unions. The unions are suffering because of it. Thank you. Thank you. I like you too. Thank you very much. Inflation has wiped out the life savings of our citizens and forced the middle class into a state of depression and despair. That's what it is. It's despair and depression. We cannot and will not let this continue. Less than 4 years ago, we were a great nation, and we will soon be a great nation again. We're going to be
Hopefully
a great
Jerry will come
nation
back on the
again.
next one. Next couple episodes. We'll get Jerry Lee back. Love having Jerry on the show. Jerry's awesome.
Thank you.
Shout out, Jerry.
With proper leadership, every disaster we are now enduring will be fixed, and it will be fixed very, very quickly. So tonight, whether you've supported me in the past or not, I hope you will support me in the future, because I will bring back the American dream. That's what we're going to do. You don't even hear about the American dream anymore. With great humility, I am asking you to be excited about the future of our country. Be excited. Be excited.
Yeah, usually when I have guests here that Mr. Kitty doesn't know, he is not, he doesn't come in here. Oh yeah,
And by
Space
the way,
Telegram. His laughs are great.
The news reports.
They make me happy,
look at
too.
all of those big networks. Look at them. They're all here. But every one of them
Boo
has
the media.
said this could be the most organized, best run, and most enthusiastic convention of either party that they've ever seen. Every single one. And it's true. It's true. And there's love in the room. There's great love in the room.
Man, that's so many cowboy hats.
So I better finish strong. Otherwise, we'll blow it. And we can't let that happen. Now, this was great. All of the great people that spoke, and everybody hit a home run. I mean, there's not one that I can think of where I said, oh, gee, that wasn't great. Every single person. I refuse to be the only one. Don't do that to me. They're already getting ready. See, I gave them an idea. Now, this was a great convention. This was, I think we're actually going to go home and miss it. You know, usually with a first of all, look at these crowds. You'd never have this at a convention. Look at these crowds. Love, it's about love. This week, the entire Republican Party has formally adopted an agenda for America's renewal, and you saw that agenda.
We will be covering the
And it's very
DNC
short
also.
compared to the
We will.
long, boring, meaningless
I bet they don't have Kid Rock
agendas
there.
of the past, including the Democrats. They write these things that are hundreds of pages long, and they never read them after they're done. In their case, fortunately, they don't read them because they're pretty bad. It's a series of bold promises that we will swiftly implement when you give us a Republican House. And Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. We have our great Speaker of the House with us tonight. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Thank you. A Republican Senate, we have many senators here. And send me back to our beautiful White House just a few short months from now. We're talking about just
Taylor
months.
Swift.
It can't come fast enough. We have to get it done. First, we must get economic relief to our citizens. Starting on day one, we will drive down prices and make America affordable again. We have to make it affordable. It's not
That's
affordable.
what he needs to run on. Not make
People
America
can't
great
live
again.
like
Make America
Under this
affordable again.
administration,
That's
our
the
current
ticket.
administration, groceries are up 57%, gasoline is up 60 and 70%, mortgage rates have quadrupled. And the
Then it
fact
would
is, it doesn't matter
make-
what they are because you
make
can't
a
get the
make
money
America
anyway.
affordable again
Can't
would just
buy
be like,
houses. Young
"Ma."
people can't get any financing to buy a house. The total household costs have increased an average of $28,000 per family under this administration. Republicans have a plan to bring down prices and bring them down very, very rapidly. By slashing energy costs, we will in turn reduce the cost of transportation, manufacturing, and all household goods. So much
If the prices
starts
will
with
come
energy.
down. If they will come down.
And remember, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any other country by far. We are a nation that has the opportunity to make an absolute fortune with its energy. We have
Make
it,
Taco
and
Bell
China
cheap
does
again.
it. Under the Trump administration, just 3.5 years
I love you,
ago,
chat.
we were energy independent. But soon we will actually be better than that. We will be energy dominant and supply not only ourselves, but we will supply the rest of the world with numbers that nobody has ever seen, and we will reduce our debt, $36 trillion. We will start reducing that, and we will also reduce your taxes still further. Next, and by the way, they want to raise your taxes
I would love that.
4 times, think of it. And all my life I grew up watching politicians. I always loved politics. I guess I was on the other side. I'd watch and they were always talking about, we will give you a tax cut. We will give you a tax cut. My whole life I was watching, I will give you a tax cut, right, Mr. Congressman? That's all they talked about. This is the only administration that said, we're going to raise your taxes by 4 times what you're paying now, and people are supposed to vote for them? I've never heard it. You're paying too much. We're going to reduce your taxes still further. We gave you the biggest one, as I said. We're going to give you more, and it's going to lead to
I don't think it was the
tremendous growth.
biggest,
We
but it
want
was a big
growth
one.
in
It was
our
a good
country.
one.
That's what's
That's
gonna
a step
pay
in the
off
right
our debt.
direction. I personally like keeping the money I earn.
And next we will
That's
end
just
the
me.
ridiculous and actually incredible waste of taxpayer dollars that is fueling the inflation crisis. They've
Yeah.
spent trillions of dollars on things having to do with the Green New Scam. It's a scam. And that's caused tremendous inflationary pressures in addition to the cost of energy. And
I
all
mean,
of the
yeah, but I
trillions
don't
of
think it's
dollars
that.
that are sitting there not yet spent, we will redirect that money for important projects like roads, bridges, dams, and we will not allow it to be spent on meaningless green new scam ideas.
Look, I'm all for green energy and making things as clean as
And I
possible.
will end the electric vehicle mandate on day 1.
But let's be real here.
Thereby saving the U.S. auto industry from complete obliteration, which is happening right now, and saving U.S. customers thousands and thousands of dollars per car. And right now, as we speak, large factories just started, are being built across the border in Mexico. So with all the other things happening on our border, and they're being built by China to make cars and to sell them into our country. No tax, no anything. The United Auto Workers ought to be ashamed for allowing this to happen. And the leader of the United Auto Workers should be fired immediately. And every single auto worker, union and non-union, should be voting for Donald Trump because we're going to bring back car manufacturing and we're going to bring it back fast.
I hope so. I really do.
They're building some of the largest auto plants anywhere in the world. Think of it, in the world. We're going to bring it back. We're going to make them. We don't mind that happening, but those plants are going to be built in the United States, and our people are going to man those plants. And if they don't agree with us, we'll put a tariff of approximately 100 to 200% on each car, and they will be unsellable in the United States. We have long been taken advantage of by other countries. And think of it, oftentimes these other countries are considered so-called allies. They've taken advantage of us for years. We lose jobs, we lose revenue, and they gain everything and wipe out our businesses, wipe out our people. I stopped it for 4 years. I stopped it. And we're really ready to make changes like nobody had seen before. And remember, USMCA, I got rid of NAFTA, the worst trade deal ever made, and replaced it with USMCA, which is, they say, the best trade deal ever made.
Now, this is more in line with classic
probably
Trump
the best
here.
trade deal was the deal I made with China, where they buy $50 billion worth of our product. They were buying nothing. They buy $50 billion worth. They had to. But I don't even talk about it because of COVID. I don't even mention it, frankly, because of what happened with the China virus.
We all know it came from China. We all know it came from a lab.
Countries come
We all
in,
know that.
take our jobs and plunder our nation. They come and do that. They plunder our nation. The way
Politicians
they
do
will sell
too.
their product in America is to build it in America. Very simple. Build it in America and only in America.
I'm interested to see what the DNC looks like compared to this. I'm going to reserve
And this
judgment,
very simple formula, and Congress has to go along with us.
but I'm
and they
very
will.
interested to see.
This very simple formula will create massive numbers of jobs. We will take over the auto industry again, and many, hundreds of thousands of jobs. We lost so many jobs over the years. If you go back 20, 25 years, they've stolen, going to China and Mexico, about 68% of our auto industry manufacturing jobs. We're going to get them all back. We're going to get them all back, every one of them.
I hope so.
At the center of
I
our
hope
plan
so.
for economic relief are massive tax cuts for workers that include something else that's turned out to be very popular, actually. Here it's very popular in this building and all those hotels that I saw that are so nice. I'm staying in a nice one. It's called no tax on tips. No tax
Dude, do
no
it.
tax on tips.
Good. Cash only, no tax. That may win him the election. That may win him the election right there.
I got that by having dinner recently in Nevada, where we're leading by about 14 points. Hello. I'll see you there very soon, everybody. And we're having dinner at a beautiful restaurant in the Trump building on the Strip, and it's a great building, and the waitress comes over. How's everything going? A really nice person. How's everything? Oh, sir, it's so tough. The government's after me all the time on tips, tips, tips. I said, well, they give you cash. Would they be able to find him? She said, actually, and I didn't know this, she said, very little cash is given. It's all put right on the check. And they come in and they take so much of our money, it's just ridiculous, and they don't believe anything we say. And they've just hired, as you know, 88,000 agents to go after him even more.
Yeah. Yep.
And I said, this shows the level of my, most people go out, they hire consultants, they pay millions of dollars. But I said to her, let me just ask you a question. Would you be happy if you had no tax on tips? She said, what a great idea. I got my information from a very smart waitress. That's better than spending millions of dollars. And everybody...
This is why people want to vote for this man.
Waitresses and caddies and drivers. And
if you don't understand the appeal of Trump,
large group of people that are
This
being
is
really
why.
hurt badly. They make money. Let them keep their money.
It's like I said earlier in the stream.
I'm going to protect Social Security and
He
Medicare.
is speaking for
Democrats
a
are going to destroy Social
disenfranchised
Security and Medicare because all of these people, by the millions they're coming in,
group of people.
they're going to be on Social Security and Medicare and other things, and you're not able to afford it. They are destroying your Social Security and your Medicare. Under my plan, incomes will skyrocket, inflation will vanish completely, jobs will come roaring back, and the middle class will prosper like never, ever before, and we're going to do it very rapidly.
I hope so. That's what we want. The middle class. That's what we're. That's
No
all of us.
hope or
That's
dream
us.
we have for America can succeed unless we stop the illegal immigrant invasion, the worst that's ever been seen anywhere in the world. There's never been an invasion like this anywhere. Third world countries would fight with sticks and stones not to let this happen. The invasion at our southern border, we will stop it, and we will stop it quickly. You heard Tom Homan yesterday. Tom Homan, put him in charge and just sit back and watch. Brandon Judd, the Border Patrol, he's incredible. These guys, they really, their job is a lot easier if they don't have to do anything, but they want to. They're patriots. Brandon Judd, Border Patrol, ICE. ICE goes out. You have to see what ICE does with MS-13. You have these are probably the worst gang, and ICE goes in there. And I know a lot of people in these rows here, and they're very tough people, but they don't want to do this job. They'll go into a pack of MS-13 killers. They're the worst, probably the worst gangs in the world. We have thousands of them. I moved
The cartels are every bit as bad as ISIS. Jameson, it was always a pleasure, man. I totally understand it's getting late.
And you see fists flying. You
Glad
see
y'all were
everything
here.
Flying, and then they take them. They put them in a paddy wagon. They take them back and they get them out of our country. And the other countries weren't accepting them back. And I called up and I said, tell them that we're not giving them economic aid anymore. And the next day I got calls from all of these countries that were terminated. Billions of dollars we spend on economic aid to countries that does us, frankly, no good. And the next day I was called by everybody. I couldn't take all the calls. Sir, what's the problem? I said, you won't take your killers back that you sent in caravans into America. You won't take them back. Well, sir, if you'd like us to.
Yeah, the cartels are awful. I've found myself on that side of the internet seeing some of the cartel execution
hours,
videos.
They were being taken back for years and years. When I first came in, they said President Obama tried to get him to go back, and they wouldn't accept him. They'd put planes on the runway so you couldn't lead the plane. They'd close the road so you couldn't take the buses. They'd all have to turn back. As soon as I said no more economic aid of any kind to any country that does that, they called back and they said, sir, it would be our great honor to take MS-13. We love them very much. We love them very much, sir. We'll take them back. At the heart of the Republican platform is our pledge to end this border nightmare and fully restore the sacred and sovereign borders of the United States of America, and we're going to do that on day one.
Are we going to build a wall at Canada, too?
That means two things on day one, right? Drill, baby, drill, and close our borders.
You heard that, Canadians. He's closing the borders.
And by the way, and I think everybody as a Republican, as a patriot in this room, and most Democrats, we want people to come into our country, but they have to come into our country legally.
Yep.
Legally. Less than 4 years ago, I handed this administration the strongest border in American history. But you can see on the chart that saved my life, that was the chart that saved my life. I said, look it, I'm so proud of it. I think it's one of the greatest, it was done by the Border Patrol, one of the greatest charts I've ever seen. It showed everything just like that. You know the chart. Oh, there it is. That's pretty good. Wow. Last time I put up that chart, I never really got to look at it. But without that chart,
oh my God,
I would not be here today.
Holy shit.
Never got to look at it.
That's funny. Good for you, Trump. Good for you for laughing about it. At least he's got a sense of humor about almost having his head blown off on live TV. Dear God.
I said, you got to see this chart. I was so proud of it, and by the time I got to there, I never got to see it that day. But I'm seeing it now, and I was very proud. If you look at the arrow on the bottom, that's the lowest level, the one on the bottom, heavy red arrow. That's the lowest level of illegal immigrants ever to come into our country and recorded.
Uh-oh, lost sound.
Right there.
Do we still have sound?
And that was my last week in office.
Weird.
And then you see what happened after I left. Look at the rest. And if you go out a little bit further,
can you hear me,
it's getting
chap?
to be a little bit old, but I love it anyway, right? But you can go much higher with those numbers. Look what happened right after that. The invasion began. We had the opposite. We stopped the invasion, but the invasion that we stopped was peanuts by comparison to what happened after I left. Look at what happened after I left. They took over our country.
Okay.
We ended all catch and release.
Okay, it may
We
just be
shut
on
down asylum fraud. We
Facebook,
stopped
Jonna.
human trafficking and forged historic agreements to keep illegal aliens on foreign soil. We want them to stay on their soil. Under the Trump administration, if you came in illegally, you were apprehended immediately and you were deported. You went right back. The current administration terminated every single one of those great Trump policies that I put in place to seal the border. I wanted a sealed border. Again, come in, but come in legally. You know how unfair it is? So many people.
Weird.
Hundreds of thousands
I've got sound on
of people
Facebook, John.
have
It
been
may
working
be
for
yours.
years to come into our
Your
country.
browser or something.
And now they see these people pour into our country at levels that are unprecedented.
I still
so
have
unfair.
sound on all
And we're
on
not
all of
going
it.
to do it. We're not going to stand for it. They suspended wall construction, ended remain in Mexico. We had a policy,
the
remain
deep
in
state.
Mexico. You think that was easy to get from the Mexican government? But I said, you must give it to us. If you don't give it to us, there will be repercussions, and they gave it to us.
Okay, good.
But not easy. Canceled our Safe Third agreements, demolished Title 42, implemented nationwide catch and release.
Gotcha.
That's catch and release, where we catch them and release them into our country. We catch them and release them into Mexico. There's a slight difference. And took 93, this is the previous administration, 93 executive actions to throw open our border to the world. The entire world is pouring into our country because of this very foolish administration. The greatest invasion in history is taking place right here in our country. They are coming in from every corner of the earth, not just from South America, but from Africa, Asia, the Middle East. They're coming from everywhere. They're coming
Miss
at
you too,
levels that
Nate.
we've never
It's
seen
good to
before.
see you today, John. I hope to see you
It is
soon.
an invasion indeed, and this administration does absolutely nothing to stop them. They're coming from prisons. They're coming from jails. They're coming from mental institutions and insane asylums. You know, the press is always on me because I say this. Has anyone seen Silence of the Lambs? The late, great Hannibal Lecter. He'd love to have you for dinner. That's insane asylums. They're emptying out their insane asylums.
I don't think they have
And
insane
terrorists
asylums.
are coming in at numbers that we've never seen before. Bad things are going to happen. Meanwhile, our crime rate is going up, while crime statistics all over the world are going down, because they're taking their criminals and they're putting them into our country. A certain country, and I happen to like the president of that country very much, but he's been getting great publicity because he's a wonderful shepherd of the country. He says how well the country's doing because their crime rate is down. And he said he's training all of these rough people. They're rough. He's training them. And I've been reading about this for 2 years. I think, oh, that's wonderful. Let's take a look at it. But then I realized he's not training them. He's sending all of his criminals, his drug dealers, his people that are in jails, he's sending them all to the United States. And he's different in that he doesn't say that. He's trying to convince everybody what a wonderful job he does in running the country. Well, he doesn't do a wonderful job. And by the way, if I ran one of the countries, many countries from all over, I would be worse than any of them. I would have had the place totally emptied out already. But we become a dumping ground for the rest of the world, which is laughing at us. They think we're stupid. And they can't believe that they're getting away with what they're getting away with, but they're not going to be getting away with it for long. That's what I can tell you.
Europe especially thinks we're stupid.
Caracas, high crime, high crime. Caracas, Venezuela, really a dangerous place, but not anymore. Because in Venezuela, crime is down 72%. In fact, if they would ever win this election, I hate to even say that, we will have our next Republican convention in Venezuela because it will be safe. Our cities will be so unsafe we won't be able. We will not be able to have it there in El Salvador. Murders
oh my God.
are down by 70%. Why are they down?
Hilarious.
Now, he would have you convinced that because he's trained murderers to be wonderful people. No. They're down because they're sending their murderers to the United States of America. This is going to be very bad. And bad things are going to happen, and you're seeing it happen all the time. That's why, to keep our families safe, the Republican platform promises to launch the largest deportation operation in the history of our country. Even larger than that of President Dwight D. Eisenhower.
So far,
many years ago. You know,
so far, Obama holds
the
record.
Very strongly in borders.
Actually,
he had the largest deportation operation we've ever had.
I think Obama holds that.
Just recently,
Trump.
I spoke to the grieving mother of Jocelyn Nungary, a wonderful woman, a precious 12-year-old girl from Houston who last month was tied up, assaulted, and strangled to death after walking to the convenience store just a block away from her house. Her body was dumped near the side of the road in a shallow creek, found by some onlookers who couldn't believe what they had witnessed. Charged with Jocelyn's heinous murder are 2 illegal aliens from Venezuela who came across our border, were in custody, and were then released into the country by this horrible, horrible administration that we have right now. I also met recently with the heartbroken mother and
Import
sister
the world, third world,
Rachel
become the
Marn.
third world.
Rachel was a 37-year-old mom of 5 beautiful
Just look
children
at Europe.
who was brutally raped and murdered while
London
out on
Stan.
her run. She wanted to
Londini
keep
Stan.
herself in good shape. It was very important to her. She was murdered. The monster responsible first killed another woman in El Salvador before he was led into America by the White House. This White House let them in. He then attacked a 9-year-old girl and her mother in a home invasion in Los Angeles before murdering Rachel in Maryland. Traveled all throughout the country, doing tremendous damage. Rachel's mother will never be the same. I spent time with her. She will never be the same. I've also met with the wonderful family of Laken Riley, the brilliant 22-year-old nursing student. She was so proud of being first in her class, who was out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia when she was assaulted, beaten, and horrifically killed. Yet another American life was stolen by a criminal alien set free by this administration. And these were incredible people we're talking about. These were incredible people who died. Tonight, America, this is my vow. I will not let these killers and criminals into our country.
Well,
I will keep our sons and daughters safe. As we bring security to our streets, we will help bring stability to the world. I was the first president in modern times to start no new wars. You know, we were the toughest.
That's very true. That is 100% true.
And you saw this.
No new wars. I'm a huge fan of that.
Strong country run
Huge
by
fan
a
of
very
that.
powerful, tough leader. He's a tough guy. Press doesn't like him because he's tough. And he came out recently. They were asking him at an interview, the whole world is exploding. What's happening? What's going on? Viktor Orban, Prime Minister of Hungary, very tough man. He said, I don't want people coming into my country and blowing up our shopping centers and killing people. But they said to him, tell us what's going wrong, what's happening. What is it? He said, there's only one way you're going to solve it. You got to bring President Trump back to the United States because he kept everybody at bay. True. He used a word I wouldn't use because I can't use that word, because you'd say it was braggadocious. The press would say he was a braggart. I'm not a braggart. But Viktor Orban said it. He said Russia was afraid of him. China was afraid of him. Everybody was afraid of him. Nothing was going to happen. The whole world was at peace. And now the world is blowing up around us. All of these things that you read about were not going to happen. Under President Bush, Russia invaded Georgia. Under President Obama, Russia took Crimea.
Yep.
Under the current administration, Russia is after all of Ukraine.
Yep.
Under President Trump, Russia took nothing.
Yep.
We defeated 100% of ISIS in Syria and Iraq, something that was said to take 5 years, sir. It'll take 5 years, sir. We did it in a matter of a couple of months. We have a great military. Our military is not woke. It's just some of the fools on top that are woke. I got along very well. North Korea, Kim Jong-un, I got along very well with him. The press hated when I said that. How could you get along with him? Well, you know, it's nice to get along with somebody who has a lot of nuclear weapons or otherwise, isn't it?
Yes, God, yeah,
See, in the old days, they'd say, that's a wonderful thing. Now they say, how could you possibly do that? But no, I got along with them, and we stopped the missile launches from North Korea. Now North Korea's acting up again, but when we get back, I get along with him. He'd like to see me back, too. I think he misses me, if you want to know the truth. Our opponents inherited a world at peace and turned it into a planet of war. We're at a planet of war.
That is absolutely true.
Look at that attack on Israel. Look at what's happening with Ukraine. The cities are just bombed out. How can people live like that where buildings, massive buildings, are falling to the ground? It began to unravel with the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, the worst humiliation in the history of our country. We have never had a humiliation like that. 13 heroic U.S. service members were tragically and needlessly killed. 45 others were horrifically wounded. Nobody ever talks about them. No arms, no legs, face explosions, horrifically wounded. And by the way, we have a man in this room who's running for the U.S. Senate from a great state, Nevada, named Sam Brown.
Nevada.
Who paid the ultimate price. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Sam. Thank you. He paid the biggest price probably ever paid by anybody that is running for office, and I think he's going to do great. He's running against a person that is not good, not respected, a total lightweight.
What did he do?
Sam, I think, paid, really, we were talking about it with some of the senators that are working so hard for Sam.
What happened to him?
But he paid the biggest price of any senator ever to run for the Senate. I don't think anybody's ever what he did. He was a real hero, a really great person. And he's running, and I hope that everybody gets out and votes for Sam Brown.
Don't leave us hanging, man. Tell him what happened to him.
And we also left behind $85 billion worth of military equipment, along with many American citizens were left behind.
Yeah, we kind of did do that.
Many American citizens. Emboldened by that disaster, Russia invaded Ukraine. They saw this group of people that were incompetent. We took the soldiers out first. No, we're going to take the soldiers out second. If they would have followed my plan, we had a great plan. But the plan only kicked in if they did everything perfectly, and they weren't doing things perfectly. So we said it doesn't kick in. 18 months in Afghanistan, we didn't have one, so they were killing them left and right, snipers. And I spoke to the head of the Taliban. You've heard this story. Abdul, still there, still the head of the Taliban. The press got on me, why would you speak to him? I said, because that's where the killing is. I don't have to speak to somebody that has nothing to do with it. And I told him, don't ever do that. Don't ever do that again. Don't ever, ever do that again. You've got to stop. Because during the Obama administration, many great people and soldiers, but a lot of soldiers were being killed from long distance. I said, if you keep doing that, you're going to be hit harder than anybody's ever been hit by a country before. And he said, I understand, Your Excellency. He called me Your Excellency. I wonder if he calls the other guy Your Excellency.
That's hilarious.
The other guy gave him everything.
I hope that's
what
true.
Kind of a deal was that?
I really hope that's true.
Do you know that right now Afghanistan is one of the largest sellers of weapons in the world? They're selling the brand new beautiful weapons that we gave them. But think of it, he actually said to me, but why do you show me a picture of my home? I said, you'll have to ask your people or one of your wives. But he could figure it out. And for 18 months, we had not one attack on an American soldier by the Taliban. 18 months. And then we had that horrible day where soldiers were killed. I was not there because of a ridiculous election. But we had that horrible attack. And they also gave up Bagram, one of the biggest bases anywhere in the world, air bases anywhere in the world, the longest runways, most powerful, hardened, thickened runways. We gave it up. And I liked it not because of Afghanistan. I liked it because of China. It's 1 hour away from where China makes their nuclear weapons. And you know who has it now? China has it now. We were keeping that. And now China is likewise circling Taiwan, and Russian warships and nuclear submarines are operating 60 miles off the coast in Cuba. Do you know that? No, the press refuses to write about it. If that were me running this country and we had nuclear submarines in Cuba, I will tell you that the headlines every day would be, what's wrong with our president? You don't even hear this. You're not hearing about this. Russia has nuclear submarines and warships 60 miles away, Mr. Congressman, from Miami, by the way, happens to be here.
They do.
Correct?
They do.
In Cuba.
They are playing war games that close to Florida.
That would not be stood for if it were somebody else. They don't want to mention it, but now maybe they will. And the entire world, I tell you this, we want our hostages back, and they better be back before I assume office, or you will be paying a very big price. With our victory in November, the years of war, weakness, and chaos will be over. I don't have wars. I had no wars other than ISIS, which I defeated, but that was a war that was started. We had no wars. I could stop wars with a telephone call. I could stop wars with just a telephone call. If properly stated, it would never start. We will replenish our military and build an Iron Dome missile defense system to ensure that no enemy can strike our homeland. And this great Iron Dome will be built entirely in the USA. We're going to build it in the USA. And Wisconsin, just like I gave you that massive ship contract, and you're doing a very nice job, Governor, right? Thank you, Governor. And they're doing a great job. In fact, I had a little design change, and we gave them a tremendous for essentially what we used to call destroyers. These are now the most beautiful. They look like yachts. I said, we have to take the bow, and we have to make it a little nicer and a little point at the top instead of a flat nose. And the people at the shipyard said, this guy sort of knows what he's doing. We have the most beautiful ships, right, Governor? And everybody sitting over there. And it was a big contract that everybody wanted. I gave it to Wisconsin, but we're going to have a lot of that built right here in the state of Wisconsin and all other states. Israel has an Iron Dome. They have a missile defense system. 342 missiles were shot into Israel, and only one got through a little bit. It was badly wounded. It fell to the ground, but most of them are. And Ronald Reagan wanted this many years ago, but we really didn't have the technology many years ago. Remember, they called it Starship, spaceship, anything to mock him. But he was a very good president, very, very good. But now we have unbelievable technology. And why should other countries have this and we don't? No, we're going to build an Iron Dome over our country, and we're going to be sure that nothing can come and harm our people. And again, from an economic development standpoint, we're going to make it all right here. No more sending it out to other countries in order to help. It's America first. America first. We will unleash the power of American innovation. And as we do, we will soon be on the verge of finding the cures to cancer, Alzheimer's disease, and many other diseases. We're going to get to the bottom of it. You remember this gentleman that I don't want to mention other than one time I had to, because when you say you're the 10 worst, I had to do it. I didn't want anybody to be confused. But this man said, we're going to find a cure to cancer. Nothing happened. We're going to get to the cure for cancer and Alzheimer's and so many other things. We're so close to doing something great. But we need a leader that will let it be done. We will not have men playing in women's sports. That will end immediately. And we will restore and renovate our nation's once great cities, making them safe, clean, and beautiful again. And that includes our nation's capital, which is a horrible killing field. So many things. They leave from Wisconsin, they go to look at the Washington Monument, they end up getting stabbed, killed, or shot.
D.C. is sketchy.
We will be very soon very proud of our capital, again, Washington, D.C. America is on the cusp of a new golden age, but we will have the courage to seize it.
There's a cat at my feet.
We're going to make it a current. We're going to bring this into a golden age like never seen before. Remember this, China wants to do it, Japan wants to do it, all of these countries want to do it. We have to produce massive amounts of energy if we're going to produce the new. If you look at some of the things that have been done and some of the things that we're going to do, but AI needs literally twice the electricity that's available now in our country. Can you imagine? But instead, we're spending places where they recharge electric cars. They built 8 chargers at a certain location toward the Midwest. 8 chargers for $9 billion. Think of them as a tank for filling up your gas. Think of it. They
Mr. Kitty's going to make America great again.
$9 billion on 8 chargers, 3 of which didn't work. And if you were going to do this all over our country, this crazy electric mandate, if you're going to do this all, and by the way, I'm all for electric. They have their application. But if somebody wants to buy a gas-powered car, gasoline-powered car, or a hybrid, they're going to be able to do it. And we're going to make that change on day 1.
Vote Mr. Kitty, everybody.
To conclude, just a few short days ago, my journey with you,
Mr. Maggie Kitty.
We know that. And yet, here we are tonight, all gathered together, talking about the future, promise, and a total renewal of a thing we love very much. It's called America. We live in a world of miracles. None of us knows God's plan or where life's adventure will take us. I want to thank Franklin Graham for being here tonight. He's an outstanding man.
No, Space
He
Telegram.
wrote
I
me a
think
note recently. I have a lot
there
of
is a
respect for
push
him.
for legislation to
Sir,
ban
I
gas-powered
love your
vehicles by a certain
storytelling.
point.
I think it's great in front of these big rallies. But, sir, please do me one favor. It won't make any difference. Please don't use any foul language. I was a little embarrassed. I said, he said, it won't make any difference. Actually, it does. The story's not quite as good, but I've been very good. The story is not quite as good, to be honest. I've got to have a little talk with Franklin, but he was great.
Mr. Kitty.
He's a great gentleman. His father was so incredible. Billy Graham. My father used to love taking me to see Billy Graham. My father would take me to see Billy Graham at Yankee Stadium. He had the biggest rallies you've ever seen. He was a good rally guy, too. But he'd get up, and he was a fantastic guy. My father loved Billy Graham.
Those were called revivals, tent
I
revivals.
think Franklin's been fantastic, and I'm working so hard to adhere to his note to me. I'm
Rallies.
working hard on it, Franklin.
From now
But if the
on,
events of last Saturday make anything clear,
every large gathering
it
of
that every
people is now a
single
rally.
moment we have on earth
That's a rally.
is a gift from God. We have to make the most of every day for the people and for the country that we love. The attacker in Pennsylvania wanted to stop our movement, but the truth is the movement has never been about me. It has always been about you. It's your movement. It's the biggest movement in the history of our country by far. Can't be stopped. It can't be stopped. It has always been about the hardworking, patriotic citizens of America. For too long, our nation has settled for too little. We settled for too little. We've given everything to other nations, to other people. You have been told to lower your expectations and to accept less for your families. I am here tonight with the opposite message. Your expectations are not big enough. They're not big enough.
I agree with that. 100%.
It is time to start expecting and demanding the best leadership in the world, leadership that is bold, dynamic, relentless, and fearless. We can do that. We are Americans. Ambition is our heritage. Greatness is our birthright. But as long as our energies are spent fighting each other, our destiny will remain out of reach, and that's not acceptable. We must instead take that energy and use it to realize our country's true potential and write our own thrilling chapter of the American story. We can do it together. We will unite. We are going to come together, and success will bring us together. It is a story of love, sacrifice, and so many other things. And remember the word devotion. It's unmatched devotion. Our American ancestors crossed the Delaware, survived the icy winter at Valley Forge, and defeated a mighty empire to establish our cherished republic. They fought so hard, they lost so many. They pushed thousands and thousands of miles across a dangerous frontier, taming the wilderness to build a life and a magnificent home for their family. They packed their families into covered wagons, trekked across hazardous trails, scaled towering mountains, and braved rivers and rapids to stake their claim on the wide open, new, and very beautiful frontier. When our way of life was threatened, American patriots marched onto the battlefield, raced into enemy strongholds, and stared down death and stared down those enemies to keep alive the flame of freedom. At Yorktown, Gettysburg, and Midway, they joined the roll call of immortal heroes. So many just so many heroes, so many great, great people. And we have to cherish those people. We can't forget those people. We have to cherish those people. And building monuments to those great people is a good thing, not a bad thing.
Don't lick your butt on the stream, Mr. Kitty.
No challenge was too much. No hardship was too great. No enemy was too fierce. Together these patriots soldiered on and endured, and they prevailed. because they had faith in each other, faith in their country, and above all, they had faith in their God. Just like our ancestors, we must now come together, rise above past differences. Any disagreements have to be put aside and go forward united as one people, one nation, pledging allegiance to one great, beautiful, I think it's so beautiful, American flag. Tonight I ask for your partnership, for your support, and I am humbly asking for your vote. I want your vote. Going to make our country great again. Every day I will strive to honor the trust you have placed in me, and I will never, ever let you down. I promise that. I will never let you down. To all of the forgotten men and women who have been neglected, abandoned, and left behind, you will be forgotten no longer. We will press forward, and together we will win, win, win. Win, 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 win. Nothing will sway us, nothing will slow us, and no one will ever stop us. No matter what dangers come our way, no matter what obstacles lie in our path, we will keep striving toward our shared and glorious destiny, and we will not fail. We will not fail. Together we will save this country, we will restore the republic, and we will usher in the rich and wonderful tomorrows that our people so truly deserve. America's future will be bigger, better, bolder, brighter, happier, stronger, freer, greater, and more united than ever before. And quite simply put, we will very quickly make America great again. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Wisconsin. God bless you. God bless you, Wisconsin, and God bless the United States of America, our great country. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
All right. There we go. There we go. Okay. Yo, I have so much I want to say about this, but I have to go to bed. I have to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to work, so I will save my thoughts, and I want to go through. That'll give me time to think about it, also, and but yeah, yep. Everybody. Sorry, I'm tired. It's late. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining us. If you like what we do here, please subscribe to the channel. Become a member if you want to support us. If you like what we do over at Patreon, you can become a Patreon. $5 a month is our membership fee. It supports us greatly. It really helps us out here because running this costs money. And yeah, anything helps. But the best thing you can do is subscribe to the channel. We are 38 subscribers from being monetized, which we need. We need. So we can keep doing this and hopefully do this full time. This would be incredible to do full time. I will be covering the DNC as well. We want to get a good look at both sides, hear both arguments, hear both plans, hear both promises, hear everything from every side, and that way everybody has the best information they could possibly get. But We love you all. And until next time, peace out.